Number 1. To learn or not to learn. To learn English or not to learn English. To spend time on it or not to spend time on it. To take courses on weekdays, in the evenings, after work, or only at weekends. To study on my own or with a private teacher. I constantly ask myself these questions. Every morning I wake up thinking about English. Usually, I get up at about 7 o'clock, make breakfast, make the bed, take a shower, do my hair, get ready for work, and drink coffee. And I try not to think about English. Quite often, I leave home after 8 and, as usual, try to solve a very important problem: to take a taxi or to go by subway. On the way to work, I, naturally, watch the other passengers on a train or watch the taxi driver. I look at them and think, to get down to serious work or not? I seldom come to work on time. But both at work and during a lunch break, and even on my way home, I constantly imagine that I speak English fluently, easily translate from Russian into English and backward, that I perfectly word my thoughts, not only in Russian, but also in English, too. I enjoy it a lot. But when I come home and make myself comfortable in front of the TV set, I forget about everything. And the next morning, I, as usual, try to solve the most vital problems: to learn English or not to learn English, to spend time on it or not to spend time on it, to take courses on weekdays, in the evenings after work, or only at weekends, to study on my own or with a private teacher.
Number 2. You and me. I am always happy and you are always unhappy. I am always glad and you are always upset. I am usually free and you are often busy. I am always active and you are always tired. When I am at home, you are at work, and when you are at home, I am already in bed. You are constantly in traffic jams. You are always late. You are seldom pleased with your work. You are always sleepy and angry. I am always cheerful and joyful, because I am just a child and you are already an adult.
Number 3. Twix Brothers. Twix brothers are so different. One is seldom late for his work, the other is rarely late for his duty. One is afraid of mice, the other is scared of rats. One is crazy about candies, the other is fond of sweets. One is interested in films, the other is keen on movies. One feels sorry for the poor, the other feels sorry for the homeless. The first one is angry with the ignorance, the second one is angry with illiteracy. The first one is very tired at work. The second one is just exhausted at work. The first one is proud of his gifts. The second one is proud of his talents. But both of them are proud of their uniqueness. Number 4. A plump man in his prime. To begin with, let me introduce myself. I am a handsome, plump man in my prime. Just joking. I am a very normal person. I am about 40. I am interested in politics, sports, and modern art. I am crazy about jazz. I am crazy about listening to jazz radio in the car. I am good at storytelling. I am fairly fit. I am seldom ill. I am well off. And, the key point, I am not married. On the whole, I am Mr. Right. However, for some reason, I am constantly late for work, and I am always on the slow side there. To be absolutely honest, I am not a workaholic. Nevertheless, I am lucky, because my girl Friday is clear-headed and she always knows what is going on. She is such a dear. I wonder if she is in love with me. Number 5. Sherlock Holmes. He is good at math, but he isn't very good at poetry. He is interested in science, and he is keen on experiments. He is crazy about tricky stories, and he is really bored with fiction. Now he is busy with a new case. Honestly speaking, he is used to puzzles, and he is seldom surprised by their strangeness. But he is always glad for a new chance to use his mind. He is ready to help people, although he isn't very good at communicating with them. He is very annoyed with the police, and he is always angry with their dullness and helplessness. And of course, he is just fed up with amateurs. He is certain of his ability to solve crimes. He is responsible for his clients. That's why he isn't satisfied with his work until the case is resolved. He isn't afraid of criminals, and he doesn't regret choosing this occupation. He's proud of his responsibility. Sherlock Holmes is the best detective in the world. Number 6. A very serious person. I am a very serious person. I am responsible and reserved. I never play the fool. I don't waste time. I work for a big company and I really enjoy it. I always think through my actions and make the right decisions. I don't watch TV in the mornings because I read the latest newspapers. I am always familiar with the latest news. I usually go to work by bus because I don't drive a car. Every day I come to work on time. I open our office early in the morning. Sometimes I go on business trips. I don't like business trips because traveling takes a long time. I never flatter anybody and I never show off. My coworkers respect me. I'm a very important person in this company. I clean the floors in the president's office. Number 7. A boaster. I am a top-notch specialist. I edit a journal. I am not a lazy slob, and I am a lucky person. I am handsome and nice. I am a real leader. I am not a loser or a pessimist. I am an optimist, and I am a man of my word. I speak English fluently. I don't like chatting. I have a lot of subordinates. I never yell. I always speak politely. I always come to work on time. I am a very responsible person. I am seldom ill. I have a lot of friends. They respect me. I have a secretary. She always helps me. She usually has a lot of work to do. She never has a rest. She works all the time. Do you often work? Do you have a secretary? Do you like her? Do you appreciate her? How often does she make coffee for you? Does she help you sign papers? Does she ever call you at home late at night?
Number 8. Fabulous Vasya. There is Vasya. He is good at everything. He works all day long. He never gets tired. He is never ill, and he is never late for work. Vasya is interested in politics, and he watches news programs twice a day. He does sports. He plays football with his coworkers in the evening after work. He is keen on jazz music, and he even plays the contrabass in a real jazz band. His jazz band always performs in one of the city's clubs on Sundays. He has a lot of friends. He is the life and soul of every party. His parents are proud of him, and children are just crazy about him. Vasya never loses his temper. He never speaks in a rude way to his subordinates, and he is not afraid of problems. And, in spite of the fact that he constantly has to make important decisions, he is never in two minds, and he always makes the right choice. In fact, he is an outstanding personality. He always sees the bright side, and he has no regrets. Sometimes I even wonder if he is a real person or just a dream.
Number 9. My husband and I. I often go to the cinema with my grandchildren. But my husband never goes to the cinema. He always watches TV in the country house in the evenings. But where does my husband work? Why does he listen to the radio while my children and my grandchildren have breakfast? I don't know, because I go to work very early, at 8 o'clock, and I never have breakfast. Where do I work? I work in the office. Why do I work every day? Because I earn money. I am the breadwinner in our family. When do I work? I work in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, but I never work at night. How often does my husband call me? Quite often, because he works very little and I work a lot. That's why I earn a lot. I am often tired, and sometimes I have a headache. And my husband is never tired. He never has headaches, and he doesn't take responsibility for me, for our children, or for our grandchildren. I complain about my husband all the time, but the truth is that I love him very much. He is just a big child. He is a sociable and merry person. He is the life and the soul of the party. He is never boring. He makes friends easily, and he likes to invite a lot of people to our place. By the way, he is crazy about cooking, and he always cooks for our guests with a great pleasure. Just imagine, it costs him nothing to cook for 40 or 50 people. Well, we both, my husband and I, are a funny couple of lovebirds. Number 10. Dr. House and Mary. She works hard and earns a lot of money. That's why she's tired so often. Sometimes she is annoyed about something, angry with somebody, or upset. It's understandable. You know, she is divorced and she provides for her children by herself. She is the breadwinner in this family. She is responsible for her children on her own because her ex-husband is good for nothing and he is not dependable. In the mornings, she takes her children to school. Then she returns home and allows herself to relax a little. Mary makes breakfast for herself very slowly, makes real Turkish coffee. She is crazy about the smell of fresh brewed coffee. Then she settles cozily in front of a TV set. As usual, at 10:30, the regular series of her favorite serial starts. The ironic Dr. House always makes her thoughtful. At about 11, she gets into her car and drives to the office. However, after 6 hours of jitters during her talks, her thoughtfulness disappears. Mary comes home when her children are asleep. Thanks to God, her kids are independent and she is very proud of them. She brushes her teeth before bed as usual, and smiles looking forward to her upcoming meeting with Dr. House the next morning. Number 11. My family. I have a good family. I have a nice daughter. She studies at a very good school, and I'm proud of her. To tell the truth, she is a very good girl. She is never late for school. She doesn't go to school by bus. She goes on foot. She likes walking, and so do I. By the way, my daughter isn't lazy. She spends a lot of time at school. and when she comes home in the evening, she is often worn out and hungry. But that's okay, because I cook well. I don't cook every day because I'm very busy too. Believe it or not, I work both on weekdays and at weekends. That's why I seldom go to the hairdresser, and I always do my hair by myself. I'm just crazy about different hairstyles. And my husband is a military man. Among other things, he speaks English well too. So, sometimes we speak English even at home, because we like speaking English.
Number 12. The Saxophone and I. I am Constantine. I am a musician. I can play the saxophone. I play the saxophone every day. I never play the saxophone at home. My neighbors don't like it. I usually go to music school and I play the saxophone there. I like playing the saxophone in the evenings with my friend. He is a great guitarist. He likes playing with me, too. Actually, this is our hobby. We want to play with other musicians, but our friends cannot play the drums and the violin. Anyway, we like playing together. We are a duet. I am a saxophonist, and he is a guitarist. And I am happy because I can play the saxophone. I want to go to Europe and play with foreign musicians there. I think that I play the saxophone very well. I am a good musician. I can play with foreign musicians. But I don't speak English well. I'm always busy and I have no time. Anyway, I want to speak English fluently and without mistakes. I do my best to speak English well. I study English with a teacher twice a week, and I always do my homework. I am a hard worker, and I am a good student, but I seldom speak English after my classes. However, I like speaking English. I like speaking to foreigners. I am an active and sociable person, but now I am confused, and I'm afraid of English words that I don't know. I can make a mistake, but I try to do my best to speak English well, because I need it. I need to tell the foreign musicians, I can speak English. And now, let's play something together.
Number 13. Face-to-face conversation. Nothing can compensate for the lack of face-to-face interaction with a correspondent. A letter can't fully simulate a real conversation because you can't see your companion's eyes or hear his or her intonations. If you hear the real voice, you can understand all the shades of the meaning, which punctuation marks can't express. Nowadays, it's common to express feelings through smileys. But how can a bracket express a smile? Can 10 brackets together express sorrow or frustration? Can lines, points, and other marks express love? A glance can express much more than a whole opus. But people are used to these symbols and can't write without extra brackets. A person can't understand the joke in the text without the appropriate sign. Maybe I am just making a mountain out of a molehill because I miss my sister badly. She is a naturalist. She works in Antarctica, and it's impossible to get in touch with her by Skype.
Number 14. The Man I Love. Someday he'll come along, the man I love. And he'll be big and strong, and I'll do my best, and he will stay. He'll look at me and smile, and we'll understand everything. And then he'll take my hand, and though it's silly, we won't say a word. Maybe I will meet him on Sunday, maybe on Monday, Who knows? I am sure I'll meet him some day. Maybe Tuesday will be my happy day. We'll build a small house, and it will be cozy and nice. We will have a family and children, a girl for me and a boy for him. We will live long and will die on the same day. How happy we will be.
Number 15. A party. Tomorrow will be Sunday, and I know how I will spend it. I will leave home early and go to the concert with my friends. Most likely, I won't like the concert because I am very choosy. I'm sure it will be too loud and rather boring. The musicians will play badly, and I will probably be even annoyed by the singer because he will sing awfully and he will look terrible. Well, we will listen to the concert till the end, and the concert will be over at 1 a.m. We will be hungry, so we will go to the pub for a meal. I will take pizza, cola, and tequila. I will be excited about the night ahead. I think it will be awesome. We will dance, have a good time, and enjoy ourselves a lot. And we will forget about our work, and I will be free and happy. We will leave the club at about 5 a.m. I will take a taxi because I won't be able to go by metro. I'll get home and immediately fall asleep.
Dialogue 16. What will you do? Hello. Will you be free tonight? What will you do?
I don't know. I am sleepy and tired. I feel ill.
Do you take any medicine? I'm afraid. You can feel worse.
Can you come?
I'm not busy, and I'm ready to come right now.
But then you will be late for your training.
I'll go there tomorrow.
I'm afraid I can't open the door.
Don't worry. I'll take the keys. Are you sure that you want to see me?
Sure. When will you arrive?
Next Monday.
What time will you be at the airport?
My plane will land at 11:50, so I'll get my luggage, and I'll go out at about 12:30. Can you take me from the airport?
Okay. Where will you stay?
I'll stay at the Hotel National. What will you do on Friday?
Why?
Can you meet our customers at the central office? We need to discuss some questions with them.
Well, what time will they come?
They will come to the office at 17, so we can start at 17:15.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I will be busy in the evening. Can we start earlier?
I think so. What time would be good for you?
I will have to go at 15, so 13:30 would be okay. Hello. We are glad to see you at the Hotel Hawaii. Can I help you?
Good morning. Where can I check in?
You can do it here. What's your name?
Patrick Swayze. And, please, can you find a room with a view of the beach?
Okay, I'll try. Yes, that's right. We have one vacant room with the view of the beach, but there is an extra charge.
Excuse me, could you help me?
What's the problem?
Can you give me an alarm call tomorrow at 6?
Sure, I'll call you. Anything else?
Yes, please. My bar is empty already. Can you check it?
Okay. I'll leave a message to our cleaning manager. You know that we charge for that, don't you?
I do, thank you.
Not at all.
Number 17. An unlucky traveler. I need to travel a lot. I usually go on business trips twice a month, but next week is going to be really hard, and I'll have to move about every single day. You know, I don't like going by train. It's slow and uncomfortable. Maybe trains will be fast and comfortable in 5 to 10 years, but now they are not. And at the railway station, I'm always nervous and in a hurry. I hope that soon I won't hurry and be nervous, because I'll speak English well and I'll understand native speakers. But now it's difficult for me to understand foreign speech, because I don't speak English well. That's why I usually go to and fro, crying, "What's the number of this platform? Where does this train go? Where is my train?" And people think that I'm crazy. But I'm not crazy. I'm just afraid that I won't find my train. I hope that somebody will ask me, "Are you all right?" And I'll answer, "Of course I'm not. I can't find my train." And then he or she will say, "Don't worry. Get a grip. Pull yourself together. I'll tell you where to go." Now you understand why I prefer to travel by air. It's fast and comfortable. You only need to check your luggage, go through customs, and answer some simple questions. What is your name? How old are you? What is the purpose of your trip? Then you go aboard, take your seat, and fall asleep. That's it.
Number 18. My life in Edinburgh. Last year I lived in Edinburgh. It was just amazing. I was so free and happy. When I lived in Moscow, I was often busy and always tired. I didn't go to the museums or to the cinema. I didn't walk at all. I just worked every day and left work very late. But in Edinburgh, I didn't work so hard. I ran in the mornings and listened to the birds in the evenings. I was never late for the theater because I didn't get stuck in traffic jams. And I spoke English every day. In short, I was pleased with my life. Of course, I was a little bit upset because I missed my Russian friends and family. I always cooked Russian soup at home, and when I was free, I looked through the pictures on Facebook and talked to my mum by Skype. I enjoyed my life in Edinburgh, and I had a great time.
Number 19. A coward. Once there was a guy. He was neither fat nor thin, neither tall nor small, just an ordinary boy. He drank, ate, slept, went to school, did sports, and everything was okay except one thing. He was a coward. The poor thing was afraid of everything. He never fought with other boys. He always ran away from big dogs. He didn't like walking when it was dark, and he even didn't watch horror films. One day he came to his dad and asked for advice, and his dad whispered some magic words to him. He had to repeat these magic words every morning. So the guy tried to do his best. Every morning he repeated the magic words. He liked repeating these words because he really felt that it helped him. Well, one day he saw a huge green crocodile in front of him. Everybody ran away, but our guy stopped just opposite the crocodile and shouted loudly, "My grandpa was afraid of nothing in his childhood. My father was afraid of nothing in his childhood. And I am afraid of nothing. I am the bravest guy in the world." The crocodile was so surprised that it jumped into the water and swam away immediately. And the guy became the hero of his town. Things do happen.
Number 20. Let's go hiking. If you want, I can tell you why I like camping so much. The fact is that I studied in an extraordinary school. Of course, it differed from all other Moscow schools. There were very few students, only around 60. There are always several parallel classes in ordinary schools, but we had only 5 classes in total. Our headmaster was crazy about hiking. That's why we went on hiking tours very often. We usually did 20 to 30 kilometers a day in any weather, sometimes in the rain. But when we finally got to the small old church, we felt very satisfied even though we were hungry, frozen, wet, and dirty. Our mood improved, and after lunch it became just excellent and cheerful and joyful. We were ready for new adventures. And it seemed to us that the whole world was at our disposal. I'm really happy that I have all these memories. You know, sometimes we go hiking with friends. I am dead sure hiking is a great thing to do.
Number 21. Christmas Eve. It's the happiest time of the year because it's New Year's Eve. You have a lot of invitations to different parties. You buy presents. You look at the shop windows and counters, and you are pretty busy. Yesterday I bought presents for my family. I spent several hours. I wanted to buy something special. And tomorrow I will buy presents for my colleagues. I won't spend a lot of time. I will buy trifles, candles, Christmas balls, or chocolate. But everybody will be glad, because it's a good tradition. I got a chocolate dragon last year, and I was glad, although it was a very simple present. The attention is very important. I didn't pay much attention to my relatives last year, so I think I will pay more attention to them in the future. It's necessary to pay attention to your loved ones. I will wish them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Number 22. As a child. As a child, I liked watching cartoons non-stop and hanging out with my friends for at least 2 hours a day. As I often misbehaved, my mummy used to say, "Behave yourself. I will have a hard day tomorrow and I will come home late. I need to prepare for my lessons. I will teach English, explain new rules, read English books, and sing English songs. I will be very tired in the evening. So please, pull yourself together and stop making me angry." And I pulled myself together at once and stopped making her angry. I stopped talking rubbish, calling names, moaning, making noises, bothering her with my constant questions, and distracting her from her work. I began to sort out books and toys in my room and put everything in order. Then my mom calmed down and said, "Good for you. Now I will prepare for my lessons well, and I will have a good day tomorrow." And then I began to watch cartoons and feel much better, which is the most important thing. In fact, my mom never finds fault with people for nothing. That's why I never take offense at her.
Number 23. A Turtle from Childhood. When I was 13 years old, my mother bought me a tortoise. It moved very fast. All the flat was its house. When it wanted to eat, it moved to the middle of the flat. The tortoise ate vegetables and fruit. It liked eating cabbage, cucumbers, bananas, salad, and apples. I tried to walk it. It ate grass outside. I needed to take care of my pet because it was very active and it moved very fast. It could eat something nasty outside. My tortoise didn't like its cage. It always stood on its hind feet and tried to get out of it. It liked sitting under the radiator and in other hard-to-reach places. It constantly needed underfloor heating, but it was impossible to do it in the flat. One day, it caught a cold. I was very upset. I am 40 now, and I often remember my pet because it always made me feel all right.
Number 24. People in the future. I hope that people in the future will be different. Nowadays, people are always worn out and sad. They work hard and sleep very little. They are angry with their relatives and think only of their career. And they don't usually play the fool, have fun, and hope for the best. People weren't so depressed a century ago. They lived in harmony with nature. They went to classical concerts and walked in the parks. They ate healthy food and slept 8 hours a day. They ran, swam, rode horses, and did physical exercises because they thought about their health. They were pleased with their lives, and they were sure of their future. A century from now, I hope that people will be different. They will be interested in arts and sports. They will leave big cities and will live in the countryside. They won't depend on machines. They will do everything with their own hands. They will think of their friends and family. They will be happy.
Number 25. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Random thoughts on Valentine's Day, 2004. Today is a holiday invented by greeting card companies to make people feel like crap. People will buy and make presents for each other, just as they bought and made presents for each other last year and many years ago. I skipped work today. I took a train out to Montauk. I don't know why. I'm not an impulsive person. I don't usually skip work. Cindy will probably be angry. We have a lot of work to do. I had some important calls yesterday, but she'll handle everything. She is wonderful. I guess I just woke up in a funk this morning. I called Cindy and said I was ill. I didn't lie. It was true. I didn't feel very well. Maybe I need to visit a doctor. Well, I will visit a doctor in a few days. It's goddamn freezing on this beach. Montauk in February. It's cold. The sky is gray. I was in Montauk last June. It was pretty nice, warm, and sunny. I won't come here in winter anymore. It's too boring in winter. I opened my diary. This is my first entry in 2 years. It's strange. I usually write a lot. I had a diary even at school. I'll give it up sometime, I think. I'll be too happy to write a diary. But now I'm unhappy. I don't know what else to say. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. I saw Naomi last night. Maybe I should get back together with her. She was nice. She loved me. Suddenly, I saw a girl. She looked at me and I looked down. I'm constitutionally incapable of making eye contact with a woman I don't know. I'll wait, she'll pass by, and I'll look at her back. She passed, and I looked at her. Why do I fall in love with every woman who shows me the least bit of attention? Number 26. I have everything. Hello, my name is Sergey. I live in Moscow. It's autumn now, and the weather is awful as usual. It's rainy, and it's very cold. The roads are wet and dirty. There are too many puddles in the roads. But despite this, I am in a good mood, because I have everything I need. I have a job. I have a flat on the 16th floor. I have a new gray car. I have a small dog. It's wonderful, and I like it very much. I have a girlfriend. She knows English, French, and wants to learn Spanish. But I don't speak Spanish or French. I speak English a little, but not very well yet. Don't think that I'm lazy. I just don't like grammar rules. Honestly speaking, they drive me wild. I was probably a little bit lazy in my childhood. I don't remember. I remember only that my parents weren't very proud of me when I was at school. Maybe I didn't study well because I wasn't very interested in my studies. I liked going to school, but to be honest, I didn't like doing my homework. But now I'm a hard worker, and despite that I'm very busy and I have many things to do, I study English every day. And I'm sure that in a year I will speak English perfectly. We will go abroad, and I will easily talk to foreigners. My girlfriend will be very surprised and excited, and I will say, "It costs me nothing to speak English perfectly." Well, it's just a dream, but take my word for it, someday it will come true.
Number 27. When you are in love. Just imagine! My brother is in love now. He doesn't belong to himself. He is weird. He says that his heart is beating very quickly. He is smiling all the time. He is dreaming from morning till evening. He often makes mistakes and acts like a fool. He doesn't understand what people are saying. He thinks that life is wonderful. He forgets everything. He believes everything. And he is doing silly things all the time. I hear him talking to himself right now. And I am sure that he is dancing or catching snowflakes. I don't like it, but to tell the truth, he is just living in the moment. And that is great.
Number 28. My girl. I've got a girlfriend. I'm glad to tell you about her, because she is very nice and serious. I think she is such a dear, though she often repeats that she is just a fool. In fact, she can do a lot, and I'm proud of her. I want to see her every day. I miss her. I need to know that she is all right. But I can't call her or send her a letter, because I'm very busy. I can only think of her and imagine what she is doing right now. Perhaps she is having lunch now, or she is still sleeping. Or maybe she is doing nothing because she is a real lazy slob. Honestly speaking, I'm a lazy slob too. But I need to work a lot and earn money. It's hard to live in Moscow and take care of somebody, but I do my best. And although we often see each other, I'm thinking of her all the time. I think she is waiting for me all day long, too. And when I come home, she is happy, and I am happy too.
Number 29. Pride and Prejudice. I'm reading a very interesting book right now. I don't usually read a lot, but it's something special. I'm thinking about it all the time. I go to work and come home thinking about this book. Actually, it's a romantic story, but its plot is very unusual. And its characters are just incredible. You know, I'm even waiting for their happy marriage, though I'm not a romantic person. So, I open the book. Where are my characters? What are they doing now? They don't want to dance with each other. They are acting just idiotically. Really, they love each other, but they don't admit it. They are trying to be sarcastic and self-confident, and they are quarreling all the time. They are suppressing their feelings and keeping their emotions a secret. And that's why they don't understand each other. It's all about pride and prejudice. Yes, you're right. It's the title of the book. But don't tell me anything. I don't want to know the end now.
Number 30. Misanthropic Monologue. The world is changing quickly. Towns are getting bigger. The population is rising. Prices and taxes are going up too. People are becoming more selfish, self-confident, ugly, and lonely. We are beginning to forget our past. We are beginning to think that we are changing the world. Yes, we are changing it. We are not making it better. We are making it worse. We build houses, roads, and factories very quickly. We constantly spoil the environment. Animals are dying. Plants are disappearing. But we hope for the best, and we are trying not to think about the present. Number 31. The Raven. My favorite poet is Edgar Allan Poe. I like his strange, scary mystery tales. I usually imagine him weak and weary, with a pale face and dark eyes. He looks like an immortal statue. He is sitting at the table, writing his poems. And suddenly he hears a rapping at his chamber door. He thinks that this is just a late visitor, but he is a little bit afraid. He opens the door, and he sees only the darkness and nothing more. He is looking at the darkness. He is wondering and fearing at the same time. He is waiting for his dead lady love to come. He still loves her. He still remembers her. But the silence is unbroken. It's quiet and motionless outside. So he closes the door and returns to his desk again. He is murmuring to himself, "Lenore, Lenore," because his soul is burning. He wants to see her, alive or dead. It doesn't matter. He misses her badly. He longs for her. He is thinking of her all the time. He feels sorrow. And soon again, he hears a rapping. Now it sounds louder. He thinks that it's only a wind. The wind is howling, or rats are scratching outside. So he opens the shutters, and suddenly a raven steps into his chamber and sits upon a bust of Pallas. The raven seems very old and noble. So Edgar starts talking to him. "What is your lordly name? Whom do you belong to? Where did you come from?" He understands that the raven knows only one word. But still, Edgar is asking him questions and guessing his answers all the time. And the raven is sitting lonely on the bust of Pallas, and he is repeating only one word: nevermore. Number 32. A Sleeping Beauty. Good afternoon. I am a lobster, and I can predict the future. I know what will happen in a few minutes. A queen will come to the stream soon, and she will cry. But I'll comfort her, and I'll tell her that she will get pregnant very soon, and in 9 months she will give birth to a daughter. She'll be very happy, and she and the king will arrange a feast when their daughter is born. But they won't invite one old, wicked witch to the feast. She'll take offense at them, and instead of a gift, she'll make a curse. At the age of 16, the princess will be spinning, and she'll prick her finger, and she'll die. Everybody will be very upset, and they'll be crying bitterly. But then another fairy will come to the baby, and she'll change the curse. The princess won't die, but she'll only fall asleep. Also, the king and the queen and all their servants will fall asleep too. The whole castle will be sleeping. And soon everybody will forget about this castle. But in 300 years, the curse will be over, and one noble prince will find the castle. He'll kiss the sleeping beauty, and she'll wake up. And they will live long and happily, and they will die on the same day. I know it for sure, as I can predict the future. Dialogue 33. Just a small question. Will you be at home tomorrow at 12?
Oh, I'm having a hard day tomorrow. First I'll go to the post office and send several letters, if it's open. Tomorrow's Saturday, and it will be open from 10 till 18. Then I'll go to the therapist. If I'm braver, and if I push aside all the old ladies, I will leave that madhouse quickly. If not, I'll be waiting for my turn from 11 till 14. Then I'll go to my university and bring my books back. And I'll have lunch there. Then from lunchtime till evening I will be studying in the library because I've got a lot of things to do. In addition, after the library, my friend and I will go to the cafe, and we will be talking the whole evening. We'll be drinking wine and eating cheese while it's getting dark, and when it's dark we'll go home. So I'll come home late. I know that you usually go to bed early, so don't wait for me. And by the way, what do you need?
I just want to know if you'll be at home tomorrow at 12. A courier will come and bring a parcel.
Number 34. I am going to be 20 tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow. I like my birthday, and tomorrow I will do my best to celebrate it as it should be. All morning I will be preparing for the forthcoming party. I'll get up at 9 o'clock sharp, and I'll be in a good mood for sure. I'll be singing while I'm taking a bath. I'll be dancing while I'm getting dressed. I'll be drinking hot coffee when my parents call me. They always call me at about 10. They'll congratulate me, and I'll congratulate them. And we'll be telling each other all sorts of nice things, and Mum will be very pleased with it. When I was a child, I used to be rude to my Mum because I didn't like the way she arranged my birthday parties. But now I'm sorry about it, and I always try to talk to my Mum politely, even if I am not in the mood or I'm in a hurry. Anyway, now I arrange birthday parties by myself, so there is no reason to be sad on my B-Day. I'll be going shopping from about 12 till 2. Then I'll clean and cook. And if nobody helps, it will take me 2 hours. At 6 my friends will finally come. We will have fun, drink wine, play table games, and chat. And if nobody gets drunk, then everything will be great. Just kidding. Even if somebody gets drunk, everything will still be great.
Dialogue 35. A Night Talk. Hey, are you sleeping?
No, I'm just screwing around. I'm done. I'm in a bad mood. I don't want to see anybody. I'm fed up with going to school every day, worrying about bad marks, and being afraid of going home because my parents will be angry with me in spite of the fact that they are used to my bad marks. Mum will pretend to be busy cooking lunch and refuse to talk to me. And my father will suspect me of being rude to my teachers. And as usual, I will feel guilty because I make my parents feel sad.
Calm down. Get a grip. Things do happen. Drink a cup of coffee, and if everything goes smoothly, I'll come around in an hour and we'll go to the theater.
To be honest, I'm unwilling to go out. Actually, I'll be on top of the world if you stop nagging me.
Well, don't take offense. I don't want you to retire into your shell. I can give you a piece of advice. Stop taking yourself so seriously and try laughing at yourself for a change. It usually helps me.
Dialogue 36. Tango lessons. Guess where I was yesterday?
Were you at the cinema?
No, I wasn't.
Were you at the theater?
No, I wasn't.
Did you meet your old friends?
No, I didn't.
So where were you?
I was at an open lesson at the dancing school.
And what did you do there?
What? I was dancing.
Dancing alone?
Of course not. It was the open lesson. Many people came and we learned to dance. You won't believe it. A tango. It was amazing.
It sounds funny to me.
Not at all. We were dancing from 2 till 5, and then a real Argentinian came and told us about different types of tango. While he was talking, we were drinking tea and eating cakes. And then a disco started.
I see you had a good time.
You bet. I liked it very much.
Dialogue 37. Questioning. Who are you?
I am Peter Ivanov.
Where were you on the 17th of February?
I was at home.
Were you at home the whole day?
Yes, I was at home all day long.
Did you know your neighbor who lived in flat 27?
We met a couple times, but I didn't even know his name.
What were you doing from 2 till 6 on the 17th of February?
Well, I don't remember, actually. Perhaps I was having lunch at 2. And then I was watching TV.
Did you call anybody?
Yes. I called my brother at 4:30, and we talked for a while.
Did you hear any noise that evening?
Yes. I heard some noise at about 7 o'clock.
And what were you doing when you heard this terrible noise?
I was in the bathroom, taking a shower, when I heard this noise. I remember it quite well.
Did you notice anything unusual that evening?
Well, at about 7:30, I was having dinner and looking through the window, and I noticed 4 guys in black jackets. They were hurrying. I was careful so they didn't see me, but while I was looking at them, they were looking for something. They didn't manage to find anything, and they ran away. But I managed to take a picture of them with my cell phone, so I can show you the picture.
Number 38. After the exam. I am so happy that I passed my exam yesterday. I was so tired and sleepy all the time, and now I am free. I can do what I want to do, and I don't feel guilty. For instance, last week I constantly felt guilty because instead of preparing for my exams, I was cleaning my room, putting my bookcase in order, or just sleeping. I never started to study diligently until late in the evening. The next day, I purposefully got up very early in the morning to study properly. Now, to be honest, I still go to bed quite late. But I don't need to get up early anymore, and I do different, pleasant things. I watch TV, meet my friends, and talk on the phone. To tell the truth, I'm just doing nothing this week. For example, I'm watching Friends and The Big Bang Theory again. And I have a hobby. I make handmade cards for friends. I sleep a lot, and I'm late nowhere. I couldn't do all these things last week because I wasn't ready for my exam. But now I'm not busy, and I am on top of the world.
Number 39. Mumbler, get a grip. Yesterday, I learnt that I'm a mumbler. I got so upset. But how did I realize this? I made a report a week ago. Everything went well, and I was pleased with myself. But yesterday, I began to write a transcript. I was very surprised. It turns out that I speak quietly and unclearly, and I often rush and swallow the end of words. I didn't know that. I was talking, and everybody was listening to me with interest and attention. And then I was answering questions and comments, while the audience was thinking about my speech. It seemed to me that I was speaking clearly, slowly, and loudly. But now I am watching the record again, and I see a shy girl murmuring something under her breath and stammering all the time. I just want to cry to her, "Slow down! Speak up! Get a grip!" Of course I was worrying, but I thought I managed to hide this. How wrong I was. Well, I am a mumbler. That's it.
Number 40. Matroskin the cat. I am a cat named Matroskin. I am a clever and well-mannered cat. I always wash my face after meals, and I know lots of interesting things. For example, I know everybody who lives, used to live long ago, or will live in this building. Yesterday, I met Uncle Theodore. He is a boy from the 4th floor. He was going upstairs and eating a sausage sandwich when he saw me, and we started to talk. We were talking while he was eating his sandwich, and then he gave me a bit. He is very friendly. He is studying now, but he'll be free in the summer. In the summer, we will go to the countryside together. We'll find a house and start to live in it. We'll have a cow. It will be feeding in the field while we are doing different housework. And I'll be milking it while Uncle Theodore is writing letters to his parents. His parents are rather strict. They work in the winter and go on vacations in the summer. They are planning their future vacations already. Last year, they bought a new suitcase while they were on holidays in Sochi, and now they want to go abroad. Well, they don't know where Uncle Theodore and I will really go.
Number 41. Bad weather. I'm sitting and looking through the window. It's winter. It is snowing. And I don't want to go out. I used to walk every day of the week when I was a girl, and I didn't care if it was raining or snowing. I just went along the streets and sang my favorite songs. But things are different now. I'm not a little girl anymore, and I prefer going for a walk when it's warm and sunny outside. Suddenly I'm getting upset, and I put a question to myself. You can still enjoy walking when it's snowing, can't you? I'm getting up, getting dressed and going out. It's cold and windy outside, but I don't care. The wind is getting stronger, but I keep on going and singing my favorite songs. I'm wet and happy. I'm not a little girl anymore, but I can still appreciate life and freedom. I won't stay at home anymore, and I will be afraid of neither rain nor of snow. I will be walking in all weathers from the morning till the evening because I really enjoy it.
Number 42. Chris doesn't like traveling. Chris doesn't like traveling, but he has to make a lot of business trips. He was in Brazil last month, and he'll go to Italy in 2 weeks. But he's very superstitious. He won't buy a ticket if its number ends with a 13. Unfortunately, Chris isn't very lucky. 2 hours ago, he bought an unlucky ticket on the internet, and for 2 hours he's been trying to change it. And last time, he missed the registration and could only get a window seat at the end of the plane. He was so upset. All 3 hours of the flight, he couldn't sleep, and he was thinking about plane crashes. In addition, the stewardesses served him poorly, and when he asked them to bring him wine, they gave him grape juice. That's why, this time, he booked the tickets in advance. I know he'll be checking his ticket, and the number of his flight, and the time of departure, and his terminal, over and over again. And he won't be sleeping during the flight again. And of course he'll be afraid of something. But, if everything is all right, and he isn't afraid, he will read a book, or speak with his neighbor, or look through the window. Maybe he'll order Chilean dry wine, and give a tip to a stewardess. And while he is drinking his wine, she will be showing him duty-free goods.
Number 43. Collecting things. Yesterday I bought a CD. It's a new group, and I knew nothing about it. I decided to give them a try, and I was right. They are just amazing. I liked them immediately. I'm listening to them now. I'm listening to them all the time. I seldom listen to music, but if I like it, I will listen to it over and over again. Yesterday, I was listening to this CD from 5 till 9, and I listened to it 4 times. I've got a friend. He is collecting musical journals now. He is reading about great composers and listening to their music. He is awesome and smart. I'm going to visit him tomorrow and show my new CD to him. While we are drinking coffee at his house, he will be telling me something interesting. My friend collects everything. He is fond of collecting things. He buys these catalogs that sell different collector's items: minerals, dolls, chess, toy cars. They sold toy skeleton parts several months ago. My friend bought them all. He was buying these journals with bones from May till August, and he was collecting the human skeleton by parts. And now he has a toy skeleton at home. Maybe I will start collecting things too. I imagine how I will be running from one counter to another in the search of the appropriate journal.
Number 44. The winter. Winter is a wonderful season. It is very beautiful in winter. During this time of year, the snow is on the houses, on the trees, on the roads, and on the streets. Yesterday it was very cold, and the wind blew hard. And it was snowing all night long. I want to describe my favorite winter weather to you. I like when it's not very cold, but there is a lot of snow, so you can skate and sled, ski, build snow castles and snowmen. For example, last year, the frost was terrible, and unfortunately we skated very rarely. In general, it was very difficult to go out. We sat at home, watched TV, read books, and tidied up. But during the Christmas holidays, we visited our friends, had fun, and enjoyed ourselves. The closer the new year is, the more beautiful the streets are. People begin to decorate trees, houses, shops, and bridges. Generally speaking, everybody has got a feeling of the holiday. Pre-holiday fuss makes everybody feel good. Everybody buys presents. There are a lot of people everywhere. Look, I'm decorating the tree now. Look at it. Such a beautiful tree. It's wonderful, isn't it? Now I am getting out the old-fashioned toys, which devolved to me from my grandmother. You know, today, you can't find old-fashioned, beautiful, extraordinary toys anywhere. Old-time things and memories are very important for every family. Although modern toys are very beautiful and outstanding too. Well, everything is okay. And the new year is coming tomorrow. And we will be celebrating it at home together all night long. It is our family way. We will be cooking the tasty dishes all day long tomorrow. And as usual, we will sit at the table at 12 o'clock, raise our glasses, and make a wish. I want the new year to be better than the previous one. I want to leave all bad things in the past, and I want the new year to be good. May all our dreams come true. Let's be healthy and happy. Then we will begin to give the presents to each other. That is the way we celebrate our family holiday. And what about you? Number 45. Different people. People in Moscow act in different ways on weekdays. Some people are in a big hurry, and some people just enjoy their life. In general, people go to work every day. However, some people work every other day, and some people may work only at weekends or just play the fool. For example, I phoned my friend yesterday and found out that every day he worked from 9 till 5. Now, like most people, he is stuck in a traffic jam and listening to music. At this moment, some people are surely looking for jobs, and maybe they're in search of themselves. Some people like saving money. Some save against a rainy day, and some people spend money like water. It is good that you have an option. Every person can choose how to live and what to do. Only a weak person falls for hopelessness. You know, you have an option. Every person has his or her own way. Every person makes his life more varied and interesting. For example, yesterday we visited our friends and ate a delicious pie, chatted, became acquainted with interesting people, and tomorrow in the evening we will go to the theater with our friends. And somebody will go to the cinema, museum, and maybe a party. Then, maybe he will walk in the streets thinking about how perfect life is, and how necessary it is to appreciate every moment. And maybe somebody will stay at home and watch TV, read an interesting book, play with children, or surf the web. And somebody will work. The most interesting thing is that at the same time, different people can do different things. For example, yesterday I was walking at 6 o'clock. At the same time, somebody was dancing, reading newspapers, tidying up, doing hair, or corresponding with friends. And now I am sitting at work, like most people, and waiting for the evening, when I can go home, and maybe to some other place. You know, the most important thing is to leave my job and to get down to my own business. Well, everybody likes having a rest, and all people do it in different ways. Number 46. An unemployed actor. Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. I am Michael, and I am an unemployed actor. I finished acting school 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I didn't have work, and I have a feeling that I still won't have work 5 years from now. I'm looking for a job now. I go to auditions, and I constantly look through the ads in newspapers. Maybe I'm just a loser. Nobody recognizes me in the street. I wasn't recognized as a child either. Nobody pays attention to me in the shops, and it seems to me that nobody will pay attention to me even if I go onto the street naked. I'm not asked for my autograph at the cinema, and I won't have my picture taken at the Oscars. That's a pity. But I'm talented. Take my word for it. As I'm telling you this, I remember a story. When I was a little boy, I was asked to take part in a school performance in which my sister was acting. I agreed. And the play, by the way, was a great success. Love notes were written to me, I was given flowers, and I was often congratulated. Well, to tell the truth, once I tried to take part in a film just after acting school. But, unfortunately, I didn't manage to learn all those stupid words by heart. I hate modern plays. Why don't they act Shakespeare or something like that? Idiots! They probably suppose that nobody is interested in classic art. But I am interested in it. Unfortunately, nobody is interested in me either. Well, I made a lot of mistakes in my lines, and after the first day of shooting, the producer told me, "You are fired." I wanted to answer him, "It's you who is fired." But I didn't. I just wanted him to understand that he wasn't right, but I didn't know how to do it. Well, it could have been worse. I am not often offered a good job, but I still believe that one day I will act Hamlet or King Lear, and finally I'll be noticed and valued. I'm still waiting for this. And what do you say?
Number 47. I am terribly depressed. I am annoyed about everything. I am annoyed by children who run about, cry, and ask for something all the time. I am annoyed by mice, geese, sheep, deer, oxen, and other types of animals because they make nasty sounds, smell bad, and can be contagious. I am annoyed by people, men and women, because they are ridiculous and small-minded, and because they are ugly. Their teeth are crooked and their feet are big. I am annoyed by all kinds of vehicles, but my least favorite vehicle is the bicycle, because it looks weird and takes up a lot of space on the balcony. Mass media drive me wild. I am especially annoyed by Brazilian soap operas, which everybody likes for some reasons, although to my mind there is no good soap opera in the world. And it goes without saying that I am annoyed by almost any kind of food, because most of it is either tasteless or bad for my health. And I hate everything colorful, bright, and positive. I can't stand balloons, butterflies, and flowers. Forget-me-nots make me feel terrible, because blue is the worst one in the world, as it reminds me of huge blue whales, which I hate too.
Dialogue 48. Mistaken. Look at that guy. I recognize him. It's Michael Jackson.
You're kidding. Where is he?
Over there. He's choosing discs. He looks like an ordinary man, but I know it's him.
Do you mean that man with a hat?
No, I suppose he's too old. That one is holding a stick. He is standing near the counter and looking for something.
Oh, now I see. Do you think it's Michael Jackson?
I'm sure of it. I've been listening to his music for ages, and I've been studying his biography too. I know his gestures and mannerisms. No doubt it's him.
Then of course you know that he's dead. Doesn't it seem strange to you?
Not at all. I believe that he faked his death, and now he is hiding and hardly ever appears in public. Number 49. The best applicant. I'm the best applicant for this job. Take my word for it. I'm a sociable and friendly person, and I'm good at psychology. I've been attending refresher courses for 2 years, and I've been studying psychology on my own. So people like me. I'm interesting and attractive. And I'm reliable and responsible. You can trust me. I do my job. I'm interested in it. I seldom forget or lose things. And I know Moscow very well. I've been living in Moscow for 3 months, and I go by metro and by bus every day. And I'm smart. You know, I solve crosswords puzzles. It's a kind of hobby. I've been doing it since childhood. So it's not hard for me to make the right decision in a difficult situation. So, please, stop looking for a good candidate. I'm the best worker. I want to work. I want to be a courier. Believe me.
Number 50. Andrew, his dog, and me. I have been friends with Andrew since childhood. We have been walking together since we were 5. We have been working together since last year. We have been communicating for about 20 years. But we haven't been talking for the last 2 weeks. Since Monday, I haven't been calling Andrew. And all this time, he hasn't been writing letters to me or going to work. I feel bad without him. I know that he is walking his dog now. That's why I'm sitting in the park. I have been waiting for him for an hour. I want to make up with him. And what do I see? He isn't walking his dog. He is waiting for me near the entrance to the park. He has been waiting for me for 3 hours, because at this time I usually walk in the park. Maybe he has been missing me for 2 weeks and he wants to make up. Hooray!
Number 51. I am watching you. I like watching people at the airport. I don't even watch TV with the same pleasure, because the real life is more interesting. I see people's faces, their smiles, and it makes me feel all right. They look happy. I don't see any hatred or anger. People are looking at one another with love, and I'm looking at them. I've been watching them for half an hour, because I'm waiting for my friend now. We see each other every year when she comes to visit me. But, for some reason, I don't see her now. Oh, there she is. She is looking the other way. And she looks like $1 million.
Number 52. 15 years of breaking your back. I have been breaking my back here for 15 years. Now, I am working with some American company. And you know, I really like it. They always work properly and always stick to the deadlines. Their boss always calls me and asks for advice, because he never acts carelessly. And I give advice to him with pleasure, because I am an expert at my job. For example, Now he is waiting for my response by email. But as ill luck would have it, I'm very busy right now. I am signing papers. That's why I haven't been answering his letter for 2 hours. It's awful, but I can't do anything with it. I just hope that my boss is doing something important now and isn't thinking of me badly.
Number 53. Good for nothing. Take my word for it. He has been wasting money like water since his uncle died. He has been doing nothing and just playing the fool for many years. All his friends are preparing for their exams now, but he is just wasting his time imagining things. Honestly speaking, he never solves his problems or makes decisions on his own. That annoys everybody. And he constantly wastes my time talking on the phone, trying to dupe me. It drives me wild. Sometimes I think that he is good for absolutely nothing.
Number 54. The rain. It has been raining since morning. It rains almost every day in our town. Although it didn't rain yesterday. But it is raining right now, and I am watching it through the window. I like looking at raindrops. Since childhood, I have liked the rainy weather. My wife is stuck in a traffic jam. She doesn't drive very well, although she has been driving for 10 years. Not long ago, she got in the accident. Yesterday, we bought a new car. She is watching the rain now and thinking about me. How long have we been living together? We have been living together for 15 years. And I never cheat my wife. I love her very much. She loves me too and knows all my habits. She knows that I am not working or watching TV now. I am looking through the window. Because I always look through the window when it rains. And I'm looking through the window and I'm waiting for my wife now.
Number 55. Organizing the business. We are cutting down expenses now. We don't usually cut down expenses, but we didn't increase profits last month, and we need to increase profits this month. We have been increasing profits for 8 years, since we organized our business. But we haven't been balancing the books for several years. That's why our profits are low. We managed to increase our sales last month, but we didn't manage to increase profits. This is because we spend a lot. We used to balance the books every year, but since our sales started increasing, we haven't been decreasing expenses. We started spending too much. That's why we are putting things in order now.
Number 56. Mountain skiing. I usually go skiing on my holidays. I like going skiing. Now I am in Austria, and I ski every day. I have been skiing for 2 hours, and I am not tired at all. Last year, I enjoyed my holidays in Switzerland, and I went skiing there. By the way, when I was skiing this morning, I met my old Swiss friend. We were skiing together from breakfast to dinner, and we were talking the whole time. When we returned to the hotel, we realized that we had been talking for 5 hours. So, we are going to ski after dinner again. Tomorrow, I think we'll go to the beach together. Tomorrow we'll be sunbathing and swimming from 8 till 11, and then we'll be lying in the shade. I'll have been enjoying my holidays for 5 days tomorrow, and in 2 days, I'll go home.
Number 57. How I went by metro. I want to tell you what happened to me this morning and why I am late. The thing is that I usually go by car. I've been driving a car for many years, but today, for some reason, I decided to go to your house by metro. It was terrible. There were a lot of people in the metro. While I was going by metro, everybody were poking and hustling. I had been waiting for the train for 25 minutes before it arrived. And, just imagine, I went in the opposite direction. I had been walking for 10 minutes before I understood my mistake. I didn't know what to do. But then I called my sister, and she helped me find your house. And finally, I am here. So we are sitting and talking. I am warm, and nobody's poking me. That's wonderful. Next time I won't go by metro at any price, not for love or money. By the way, how long have you been waiting for me? I promise that next time I'll come on time, whatever happens. I will go by car. By the way, I will have been driving a car for 5 years next year.
Number 58. It is snowing. I like watching the snow. When I was a child, I would watch the snowflakes gently falling onto my palm for hours. It used to snow the whole winter in my town, but now things are different. It will not have been snowing for 10 months tomorrow in this small town. It only snowed for 2 hours last winter. Bad luck! It had been snowing for several hours before I went out. Therefore, I have already been looking forward to the snow for almost a year. My granny said that snowflakes were little fairies, but my teacher told me that snowflakes were frozen droplets of water. If he hadn't told me this, I would have known about it from the other children anyway. Nevertheless, every time it snows, I feel as if I were a child. I believe that the snow is a kind of magic. I still hope that it will snow soon. If it is snowing for a little bit longer this winter, then every dog has his day. Number 59. A letter from Venice. Hi! I've just arrived in Venice, and I want to share my impressions with you. The weather here is nice. It's warm and sunny. I've already checked into the hotel and taken a walk. What a wonderful place! My window looks out on the harbor, and it takes me only 5 minutes to get to the sea. And I've never seen such kind and friendly people. In the morning, when I went for a walk, I lost my way. I didn't know where to go, but I was afraid to ask somebody for help. And then one old lady was so kind to me that she showed me the way to my hotel. It was so nice of her. Have you ever met people who ask you, "Can I help you?" I came back to my hotel in time for dinner. By the way, at the restaurant I met a wonderful couple. They are Russians too, and we agreed to go to the cinema this evening. So, when I finish my letter and send it to you, I will take a shower, put my things in order, and get ready for the evening. Oh boy, I can't believe it. Have I left Moscow? Have I done it? Yesterday I was still at work, and now I am in Venice. I haven't felt so calm and happy since my last vacation.
Number 60. China. Have you ever been to China? Oh, it's an amazing place. I've only been there 3 times, but it has changed all my life. All my relatives travel only in Europe, so I'm the only person in my family who has been to Asia. Now, I'm the black sheep of the family. I used to be keen on traveling in Europe and North America, but 5 years ago, I accidentally got to China and fell in love with this country immediately. Unfortunately, I don't travel a lot right now. And most likely, I won't go anywhere in the near future. I have a baby. He doesn't sleep at nights, so my wife doesn't allow me to leave her alone. She says that she won't be able to take care of the baby properly without me. It's a pity. It's been a year and a half since I've been to China, and I've already forgotten this incredible feeling when you're looking out the window from the 58th floor, and it seems as if there are millions of black ants bustling about down there.
Dialogue 61. In London on tour. Hello.
Hello. Glad to see you. Haven't seen you for ages. How are you doing?
I'm glad to see you too. Let's have coffee and talk a little, if you have time.
With great pleasure. I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm very busy. Yesterday, for example, I was rehearsing in the new hall from 11 till 3, and I will be rehearsing in the new hall from 11 till 3 tomorrow. And I've got a performance every evening. We are on tour, you know. But I'm very glad and pleased, because I adore my job. And what about you?
Not too bad. Yesterday I was in Paris. Today I have a shooting, and tomorrow I'll be in America. That's my life. Have you ever been to America?
Not yet, but I'll go there in 3 months. By the way, have you met anybody from Hollywood? They are said to be very special. I've never mixed with such people before, but it's for the better. I'm always interested in new people. I like watching them. I've spilt my coffee. That's terrible. I don't know what to do.
Don't worry. Take it easy. We will go to the shop and buy you a new stunning t-shirt. It's not a problem here in London. By the way, I've noticed that your English has got much better. How long have you been studying it?
Thanks a lot. For 3 months. I really try to do my best and study, even if I have very little free time. I hope I'll speak fluently in a year, and I'll have no problems with English.
As usual, let's hope for the best. Well, let's go shopping?
With great pleasure.
Dialogue 62. A phone conversation. Hi, where are you?
Hi. I've just finished my work and I'm going home.
But it's 11 p.m. And by the way, I've already been waiting for you for 3 hours. When will you come?
Well, in an hour probably.
Then I won't wait for you any more. I'll have dinner now, and when you come, I'll be sleeping.
It's not fair. Yesterday when I came, you were sleeping too, and the day before yesterday, and I don't like having dinner alone. When I was having breakfast and getting ready for work, you were taking children to school, and now you're going to go to bed? We haven't seen each other for 3 days now, have we?
And we won't see each other any more if you keep coming home at midnight. And the children will forget your name. What are you doing on Friday in the morning? The children will take part in a school performance, and they will want you to come.
Well, if my boss doesn't give me any additional work, I will be absolutely free until 3 o'clock.
So next time that you talk to your boss, please remind him that you have a family, and tell him that on Friday morning you won't be able to do any additional work.
It's easy to talk like that if you depend on nobody, but I know for sure that he won't increase my salary if I'm not nice to him.
It's up to you, but if you don't come to the children's performance, don't think that I'll be waiting for you in the evenings.
When we were younger, you always waited for me, and you were never angry.
What do you mean? I'm not young anymore?
I didn't say that. Well, if you just wait 30 minutes more for me, I'll come and we can have dinner together. And while we're eating, we will talk and you won't be angry with me anymore.
Well, all right. Okay, I'm waiting. But if you don't come in 30 minutes precisely, I'll go to bed.
Agreed.
But please don't rush. If you drive quickly, I will be worried.
Okay, I won't rush. Don't be nervous. See you in 30 minutes. Number 63. A restaurant. She didn't answer the phone that day. She was at work. She called me and apologized after she got off work. We decided to have dinner at a restaurant. Actually, she had made a decision before she asked my opinion on it. We had a splendid dinner, and I felt great. But we had ordered so many dishes that when I saw the bill, my heart sank. That day, I decided never to go to any restaurant. It's better to marry a cook. Number 64. How I spent my summer. Well, okay, I'll tell you this story. To tell the truth, it wasn't the best summer for me. You know, I'm not paid millions, so I can't afford to rest for a long time. But last year I was really tired, so I definitely needed a vacation. I had quite a smart plan. I was going to work all June, and I was promised 3 weeks off in July. I'm used to doing everything in advance, so I decided to call my travel agent in May. But when I called her for the first time, she was busy with another client. When I called her for the second time, she was on vacation, and then something else happened. On the whole, I had called her 4 times before I managed to talk to her and order tickets. To cut the long story short, by the end of the June, I had finished all my business. I was ready for my trip when my telephone rang. I picked up the phone, and what did I hear? I was told that my flight was canceled. It was awful. I tried to make a row, but it was in vain. Of course, they promised to give me my money back, but it was too late. Anyway, I didn't have much time to go somewhere else, so I spent my holidays on nothing. Better luck next time, I hope. Number 65. Advertise. Advertise. Create signs, brochures, and commercials. Don't forget about disguised adverts. Promote. Stimulate demand for your product. Use media, that is, newspapers, TV, magazines, etc. Inspire newsmen and writers. Sale. Cultivate prospective buyers in your market segment. Come to agreement on pricing and services with a marketing agency. Number 66. Amnesia. What is it? Where am I? What time is it? What city is this? What country is this? Where is my friend? Where is my family? Why am I here? What do I remember? What do I know? What do I have? Where is my handbag? Where are my things? And, by the way, where's my passport? And where's my money? Who are all these people? Why are they in a hurry? What language do they speak? What language is it? Why do they speak English? What language do I speak? Do I speak English too? What do I understand? What do I want to ask? What do you want to say? Do you want to help? Why do you want to help me? Why are you so kind to me? Who are you? What do you want? What does it mean? What do you know? Do you know me? Do I know you? What is your name? What is my name? What is your phone number? What is your address? Where do you live? Where do I live? Where do I stay? Where is my home? Where is my hotel? Where is my taxi? Where is my bus? Who is here to meet me? Are you here to meet me? Why are you here to meet me? Why am I here? Where am I? Am I in Moscow? Am I in Russia? Is it real? Is it possible? Or is it just a dream? But who speaks English then? Number 67. A fiancé. Well, my dear daughter, tell me about your fiancé. What does he do? What is he? How old is he? Is he rich? Does he earn a lot? How much does he earn? Is he ambitious? What does he want? Where does he live? Where is he from? Is he able to take care of you? Who does he take care of? Who will take care of my little daughter better than her beloved father? Well, are you pleased with him? Does he love you? Do you love him? Are you sure? Is he sure of the future? What is he sure of? Okay, you are right. Who is master of his own future nowadays? But do you know him well? What is he interested in? Who does he listen to? What does he like? Where does he go? When does he come home? Is he tired in the evenings? Does he work a lot? Where does he work? Who does he work with? Does he drink a lot? What does he drink? Is he often drunk? Why is he never drunk? Who does he live with? What? Does he really live with his mother? Who lives with his mom at the age of 30? Maybe he is just a mama's boy and he isn't ready to take responsibility at all. I'm surprised, as you see. But is he really ready for the marriage? Does he want children? How many children does he want, by the way? Is he an only child? Is his family proud of him? Are you proud of him? Well, ask him over for tea sometime. I want to have a look at him.
Number 68. Annoying pedant. Excuse me, do you have any time? Can you answer a couple of questions? Thank you. Where is the reception? Who can help me? Who meets clients? Who answers the phone? And who answers questions? Where is the administrator? When is he at reception? When does he answer the phone? Why is he late? Where can I take my key? Where is my room? How much does it cost? What is the price? Why does it cost so much? Why is it so expensive? Who pays for it? How does it work? Well, thank you. One last question. Where can I wait? Where is the toilet? Where is the bar? Where is the dining room? Where is the swimming pool? Where is the sea? Where do you swim? Where do you relax? Where do you eat? When do you eat? When does breakfast start? When does it finish? When do you usually have dinner? What do you have for dinner? Who cooks dinner? Is it tasty? Is it good for health? I hope so. By the way, what room is this? What do you do in that room? Is it a dancing room? Do you dance? When do you dance? Who can dance? Is it for free? Is it expensive? How much is it? Why is it so cheap? Who pays for it? Okay, I see. Thank you. See you. Wait a minute. Do you take excursions? Do you go to the city? Where do you go? Is it interesting? Is it cheap? Do you buy anything? What do you usually buy? Do you go shopping? Do you enjoy your holidays? Are you glad? How do you feel? Are you happy? So that's fine. Thank you. Bye.
Number 69. An interview. Why have you decided to interview for our company? What made you take an interest in our work? What education do you have? Why only 3? Where did you study? Did you smoke when you were a student? With whom did you keep company? Have you stayed in touch so far? Did you only get red diplomas, or are you also a doctor of philosophy? How long had you been studying abroad before you decided to move here? Why have you decided to stay in our country? Who were your teachers? Were any of them outstanding scientists or politicians? Isn't it obvious that a teacher influences his student's future life? Who impressed you the most? What are you reading now? What party do you vote for? Are you married? Who agreed to marry you? Did she agree voluntary or by force? How long have you been married? Has she ever asked you if you had love affairs before you got married? Has she asked you what your life was like before you got married, and if you were a decent person? You are a clever and decent person, aren't you? It seems to me that I'm a great interviewer, aren't I? Now I am all ears, and I am ready to listen to you.
Number 70. An English teacher. We study English. We usually study English at work, but we also study at home. This is a course. An English course. The course is intensive. We have English lessons 5 times a week. The lessons are very interesting. We have a good teacher. The teacher gives us exercises. The exercises are sometimes very difficult. That's why we ask him questions. The questions aren't easy. The teacher asks the questions and we try to answer. We speak English in class. This is a rule. The rule is strict. We usually start our lesson with a little talk. The conversations at the lesson are usually like this. What's the weather like today? What time is it? Who is sleepy in the morning? Why are we always sleepy at work? Why do we drink so much coffee? Why do we usually study in the mornings? Who wants a cup of tea with jam and a cookie? Our teacher is a good fellow, and we are hard workers. We want to speak English fluently and with no mistakes. Our classes begin at 6 o'clock in the morning, and everybody wants to sleep. But our teacher does his best to cheer us up.
Number 71. Getting ready for Countryside House. What do we need to take to the countryside?
I think we need to take a packet of rice, a carton of milk, and a jar of jam or honey, and some tea. Then we can cook porridge and have breakfast.
Great! Don't forget about a loaf of bread, butter, and cheese. And take some coffee. I'd like to drink a cup of coffee in the mornings and eat a cheese sandwich.
What about sliced bread? How many slices would you like?
Probably a half of loaf is enough. And what do you want for dinner?
Pasta with canned meat. I like pasta very much.
But I don't like canned meat. Let's buy 2 kilos of meat for barbecue.
No, it's too complicated. And it's too cold. Let's buy sausages.
Okay. As I remember, we have a tin of tuna or salmon there.
That's right. And a bag of flour, just in case.
We don't need flour. I know what we really need. A bar of soap. We don't have any soap there.
You're right. I think a bar of chocolate for tea would be good too.
And a can of cola for me, please. That's all. Let's go.
Wait a minute. Where are the keys? Number 72.
Plushkin.
I'm a very pedantic person, and I never throw anything out. I keep the property of my whole family. My great-grandma's broken glasses, my great-grandpa's sock, and my mother's gloves. I've got my cousin's photos of my distant relatives. I haven't thrown anything out since I was a child. That's why I keep my sister's ribbons, children's toys, my first dog's collar, hairballs of my 7 cats' hair, and spare parts from my bicycles. Naturally, I've got some cupboards for my university stuff. I keep Shakespeare's plays there, also teachers' chalks, my classmates' outlines, and various men's and women's clothes, which were in fashion at that time. After graduating from the university, I worked in the government and, naturally, I refilled my collection with the English Queen's toothbrush, the Dutch princess handkerchief, the Prime Minister of the UK's cigar butt, and other breathtaking relics. Unfortunately, I don't always have enough space for my collection. That's why I keep some things at my daughter's, who lives 2 miles away from me. Another part is kept at my hairdresser's. I like taking a 15-minute break in the winter evenings and remembering where all my things are. It exercises my memory a lot. But I can never find keys to the car and my cell phone.
Number 73. My desktop. There is a table. To be more precise, it's my desk. There are all sorts of things on it, but I only need one of them. I need my credit card. There are books, pens, notebooks, pencils, and a lot of different papers on it. There are also several plates, cell phones, and toys. I am rummaging among all that, but I can't find what I need. It's time for me to grow wise and hire a housemaid.
Number 74. Would you like some coffee? I rent a flat in London. There are 2 rooms and a kitchen in my apartment. But they call it a bedroom apartment. That's right, there's only 1 bedroom in my flat. But there is also a living room there. In the middle of this room, there is a big table, and there is a laptop on the table. I usually both study and eat at the table. There are 3 small books on the computer and a cup on the table. And where am I? I'm sitting at the computer and drinking coffee. I like drinking coffee very much. I used to drink coffee 3 times a day, but now I only drink it in the mornings. There is a small table in the kitchen, and there is a small coffee machine on the table. And there are 2 small cups with saucers. My girlfriend presented them to me last year. She knows that I am crazy about coffee. And there is a dishwasher in the kitchen. My poor girlfriend used to wash the dishes for hours, and she hates washing the dishes. So I bought her a dishwasher 2 years ago. Now she's got more free time than she used to have, and we can drink coffee together.
Number 75. An important employee. Few people really realize that I'm a very important person. They think that I do very little. I just answer the phone and arrange meetings. But I don't take offense. They don't see how much I do for the company. I know many people, and I have a lot of time, so I always have a smoke with my coworkers and discuss some problems. We talk outdoors or indoors, it doesn't matter, and I usually give them a piece of advice. People actually talk too much. They are always annoyed or worried, and I know many things about them, because I remember everything. Who works hard and who plays the fool at work, who can keep secrets and who can say too much, who is a man of his word and who is a lickspittle. But I never accuse or suspect anybody. That's why people trust me. I understand their difficulties and I can solve their problems. So when my boss asks me, "Why are you always absent? Are you an idler?" I answer, "You're wrong. I'm not an idler. I create a friendly atmosphere at work." Number 76. The Mother's Monologue. I don't want you to be late. It's so important to be on time. I often used to be late, but one day I told myself, "Stop it." And since that day on, I've always been on time. Note that it had happened before you were born. So I would like you to always be on time too. I don't want you to be ill. To tell you the truth, I'd like you to be always healthy and rich. But perhaps it's not possible. I want you to have an interesting and well-paid job, and I want you to be valued and respected. But why do I say it? I'm absolutely sure that you will be treated well, because you are such nice boys, aren't you? I don't want you to be laughed at. I was often laughed at in school because I wasn't beautiful and I had a very long nose. So I know what I say. I want you to be loved and I want you to love too. That is probably the most important thing in the world.
Number 77. Naughty Boys. I went outside and saw boys fighting. While I was approaching them, I heard them screaming. When I came up to them, I felt them becoming scared. When I told them off, I noticed them get upset. When I went to my car, I heard them fighting again. When I came up to them again, I saw them throwing stones at one another. When I made a second remark, I felt them take offense. But as soon as I moved away from them, I heard them quarreling again.
Number 78. Let's not be highbrows. I happened to get acquainted with a girl not long ago. She seemed to be dull and uneducated. After talking to her for 10 minutes, I thought, we are unlikely to become friends, and moreover, we'll probably stop communicating as soon as we stop seeing each other at work. She seems to be interested in nothing except TV and Facebook. I turned out to be wrong about this girl. 2 weeks ago, I was looking through the recent online news, and suddenly I came across an article about this girl. I was very surprised to know that she collected money for charity organizations that take care of disabled children. The article said that she'd been looking after disabled children for many years, and that she had helped a large number of children cope with hopeless situations. In fact, I was just shocked. Of course, I didn't expect her to be such a kind, responsive, and helpful person. She seemed to be so ordinary. But it turned out that modern society needs her more than me and all my nice and intelligent friends put together. She will certainly help many children. And what about us? I'm not sure if we are able to help ourselves. So, dear messieurs, let's not be highbrows, shall we? Number 79. How to be a mother. You know, it's not so easy to be a mother, and a father as well. Every now and then you have to question whether you are bringing up your children in the right way. Just imagine that a doctor told you to give a liter of water to your child every day, and that your child would get used to drinking water sooner or later. But you see that your child refuses to drink so much water, and that he isn't getting used to it, and you don't know what you should do. You ask your mom for advice because she is a more experienced mother. She has already brought up you and all your brothers and sisters. But she answers that she is sure that the child always drinks as much water as he needs, and that she doesn't see the reason to make him drink more. And your friend told you that her child was used to drinking water by the time he was 2. And you read in a magazine that it's very important to drink a lot of water, and that every single mother should teach her child to drink water. And your dad said that in spite of the fact that he never drank much water, he had no problems with his health. What should you do? I don't know. I just have to say that if you want to be good parents, you'll have to get used to questioning your decisions all the time. That's our life. Number 80. The book. I asked Betty where my book was, which she had borrowed the previous week. Betty replied that she had given it to Tom to read for a while. Tom said he had read the book before Wednesday and gave it to James. James told me that reading is wholesome, so he'd given the book to his younger sister, Joanna. Joanna said she couldn't stand reading, so she had put the book into Mark's bag. Mark remembered reading my book during a 2-day business trip and leaving it at Anne's place. Anne reported that my book had been found in her house, so she gave it to Jacob. Jacob warned her that the book was printed in 1925, so it should be taken care of. That's why he gave the book to a familiar second-hand bookseller to repair. The familiar second-hand bookseller explained that such books didn't usually fall into his hands, and he had taken this copy to the public library that day. A librarian promised that the book was in good hands. He said that they had been looking for this edition for 50 years.
Number 81. When Pigs Fly. Today, my brother has announced that he is going to enter the university next year. English comes easily to him. There are no problems with literature or history, but, just in case, I wondered if he had thought it over properly. He would be able to pass all the exams providing he studies at full speed, wouldn't he? My brother confessed that he had been dreaming of being a pressman since childhood, but my parents said that they were sure that my brother would do research in math. My father wondered if my brother wouldn't have changed his mind by the end of the year, because he knew from experience that it's always better to think twice before making the final decision. But my brother took this poorly, and answered that he wouldn't give up this idea until pigs flew.
Number 82. A Bride. It's very hard to get married nowadays, especially if you want to marry an Englishman. To begin with, you should master English. You should only buy good English books in good second-hand bookshops. Otherwise, you will speak oddly and incorrectly. It's very hard to be a bride. Any bride has to invite guests, play up to the would-be mother-in-law, and look like $1 million at the same time. It goes without saying that a wedding dress is to be bought at a luxurious fashion store. If she wants to conquer the heart of her would-be husband, she is to smile and look straight in his eyes. It's not quite easy to be a bridegroom either. He is to agree with everything and be calm. And if the bride suddenly runs away, he is to catch her and take her back to the church. On the whole, he is to say, "Yes, I do," at the turning point. If he does anything wrong, the marriage is to be dissolved. Now it's clear why it's so hard to get married nowadays.
Number 83. I hate bringing up children. Wash your hands before eating. Clear the table after having breakfast. Empty the garbage bin before going to school. Call me after arriving at school. Stop picking your nose. Picking a nose is disgusting. I know you like picking your nose. I know you like playing the fool and misbehaving. Your teachers always punish you for misbehaving. When you come to school, tell your teacher about hiding under the table instead of doing your homework. Do you hear me? Bringing up children is a hard thing to do. I don't like bringing up children. I like browsing the web. I can make money. Making money is easy if you are an expert at your job. After staying at home with my children for a couple of weeks, I feel like going to work daily again. Number 84. Steadfast fighters for healthy lives. Everybody knows that swimming is good for your health. There's nothing like swimming after a hard day at work for about 30 to 40 minutes, or something like that. You feel fully refreshed. Swimming before work is also pretty good. If you are late for work, you may tell your boss, "Sorry for my being late. I am late because I was swimming." If your boss is the right person, he'll just nod at you with a knowing smile. Everybody dreams of swimming before work. He would hardly be so understanding if you told him that you were late because you overslept. At lunchtime, you can proudly talk about swimming in the swimming pool early in the morning, and you can tell your coworkers that it really made your day. After swimming before work a couple times, you begin to treat yourself with respect and even with admiration. And you feel like telling all these steadfast fighters for healthy lives who were with you in the swimming pool at 6 a.m., "Thank you so much for coming here at this early hour. Thank you for taking care of your health. Call me next time you're going swimming. I'll bring my life jacket and armbands with me."
Number 85. Hard workers. Everybody works in our family. I make a living by teaching Chinese. My husband also earns money by tutoring. He is good at math, and the key point is that he is good at explaining tricky problems in layman's terms. So we are always busy preparing our lessons. Our daughter is saving up for the journey to England by babysitting at weekends. The idea of babysitting crossed her mind a couple of years ago. She is crazy about spending time with children, and she is good at getting on with them. She really enjoys playing with little ones. And our son gave up playing computer games. He is fed up with doing nothing. That's why he is making some extra money by delivering pizza and sushi. Although he carries on listening to aggressive music. So it goes. All kids are keen on listening to rock music. But the key point is that all of us enjoy doing what we do.
Number 86. Today with us in the studio. An awesome guest is coming to our studio today. I'm looking forward to seeing her. The fact is that she avoids communicating with the press, and she hasn't done an interview so far. I remember seeing her for the first time. If I remember right, it was about 30 years ago. At that time, I was a newcomer in journalism, very ambitious, and shooting for the stars. Just then, I decided to set the world on fire by making a series of reports about outstanding scientists who, for the sake of their work, gave up leading a routine life and tried living and working in the jungles and deserts. But let's get back to our guest. I must tell you that I am proud of being her contemporary. This fascinating woman has been spending all her time studying the ape's life for 40 years. She is used to living without modern facilities. She really enjoys communicating with our nearest biological relatives. To my mind, I hear her approaching the door. Remember to give her an ovation. Number 87. Funny posters. Funny posters have been running along the streets of our city recently. They make a stop at bus stops, in front of the cameras, at the markets, and in subways. In other words, in crowded areas. Smiling, passerby read the signs, and after reading, they nod in approval. Poster 1. Be careful while crossing the road. While speaking to kids, do not pap. By helping the old, you give the little ones the example to follow. Poster 2. Not knowing English, it's really hard to find a well-paid job nowadays. Not being technically savvy, it's impossible to fix a TV set without assistance. It's difficult to live in Moscow not having a car. Poster 3. After having lunch, say thank you. After cleaning a flat, don't demand an award. Having lost your money, don't cry. Poster 4. Don't go out without saying goodbye. Don't go away without making up with your family. Don't fall asleep without remembering something nice. I think that it's a perfect example of social advertising. Number 88. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Let's talk tomorrow. I'm busy now. I'll come around tomorrow if I have time.
I don't know when you'll come.
I'll call you when I come. But if it snows, I won't come.
I know that tomorrow will be cold. But if it's not cold the day after tomorrow, will you come? And we will talk. And I will be happy.
I'm sorry, but the day after tomorrow I'll be at work. How about the weekend?
No, at weekends I'll probably be at work too.
But can you find some time for me?
Sure.
Well, see you. Number 89. If I had $5 million. If I had $5 million, I wouldn't work. I would buy a plane ticket and go to Brazil. I would sing, dance, and eat sweets all day long. If I didn't have to get up so early in the mornings, I wouldn't be so tired and angry in the evenings. Of course, I have got used to working a lot. But if I had $5 million, I would get used to resting a lot. It seems to me that I would be kinder if I were rich. I would take care of homeless people, and maybe I would build a free hospital for poor people. My brother tells me that everybody thinks like this, but no one really does it. Maybe this is true. But it's harder to be kind and caring when you've got a lot of problems, isn't it? I wish somebody would send me a couple of million. My brother told me, stop thinking about it. You do understand that it's senseless, don't you? But I can't help thinking about it. It would be so wonderful, just to get a whole bunch of money from nowhere. I do desire it.
Number 90. On a bus in rush hour. I wish I were on a small island in the Aegean Sea now. I wish there were nobody on that island and I could spend all day long on the beach. I wish there were a small house somewhere in the mountains where I could rest in the cool evenings. I wish there were a stock of food for a year in this house. I would wake up there every morning, swim in the azure sea, and have breakfast in the shadow of the palms. I wish I could lie on the hot sand for hours and grasp the meaning of life. I wish I could play the banjo, and then I would play there in the evenings. I wish I weren't here now on this overcrowded bus.
Number 91. People and the modern world. I wish people thought more about nature. If they took care of the environment, they would live better. If they moved to the country and didn't live in the city, they would be healthier and happier. Take my word for it. I wish people understood such simple things. If you eat healthy food, you feel better. And if you feel better, you are more energetic and are able to do more. People could breathe more fresh air if they lived near the forest. They could live longer if only they left their cities and built houses from natural materials. But this isn't enough. One ought to refuse all electronic devices and gadgets and do more physical exercises. Just imagine, if people didn't waste their time on computers, the internet, and TV, they would take more time for themselves and their friends. They would sleep at night and get up earlier in the mornings. I wish people hadn't got used to modern technologies and thought about nature.
Number 92. It's necessary. Unfortunately, it's necessary to know a special code of conduct, to be treated well, and to avoid making a fool of yourself in any surroundings. It's vital that one should always talk politely. It's dangerous to be rude with unknown people. It's desirable to avoid communicating with angry and unbalanced people. Of course, it's difficult to monitor your speech, but it's really necessary. Sometimes it's so boring to listen to people's stories about their dreams, but it's common to listen to them till the end and to give advice. Certainly, it's hard to follow all these rules, but if you feel like getting along well with everybody, kindly behave properly. Number 93. Learning to speak. To learn to speak English fluently, you need to practice speaking. It's as simple as that. You need to speak a lot. Just say it to yourself. I need to speak a lot. Say it to your colleagues. Say it to your friends. Say it to your relatives. Tell them that from now on, you will speak only in English. You will talk, chat, converse, whisper, yell, speak on the phone, and ask and answer questions only in English. Pretend to be a foreigner. Speak English outdoors, at work, at home, at meetings, in supermarkets, in restaurants, in cafes, in the subway, on a bus, and on a taxi. Don't write and don't read. Do all the exercises verbally, and pronounce them out loudly, slowly. Train your articulation. Learn English songs and sing them. Watch English films and repeat everything the actors say. Find English tongue twisters and sayings, and try to say them. Ask your friends and relatives to try. Tell them how to say them properly. Ask them to speak English to you. Or better, find English-speaking friends and talk to them. Start to think in English. Talk to yourself in English. Translate your every thought and act imaginary dialogues in English. Visit Great Britain and enjoy the real British accent. Okay, I see. You have no time, you have no opportunities, you are afraid of mistakes, and you are used to reading and writing. Well, at least do speech drills every day. 15 minutes a day is enough.
Number 94. You know, I'm not very good at English yet. Sorry, what did you say? I didn't catch you.
What do you mean?
In fact, I'm not in the know. Be so kind, let's begin from the very beginning.
Okay. Where was I? Let me see. And what do you think about it?
I'm not of the same opinion. To my mind, it's just the contrary.
I don't care. If I'm not mistaken, you're not in the picture.
That's right. But, firstly, you're not familiar with the situation. Secondly, you don't speak English well. Thirdly, you need to think it over.
To cut a long story short, I understood you.
Well, in short, this is the way I put it.
I'm with you. It seems to me you are right. I'm of the same opinion.
Really?
Sure. And, I've got an idea. By the way, are you good at English?
I don't think so.
Well, I'll try to explain. But it's difficult to explain. To my mind, you got me wrong.
I think I understood you correctly.
Really? Because I have a feeling that you didn't get my message.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, you mean that we need to use our minds.
That's right. Actually, we have no idea how to put it into words.
How right you are. And we aren't good at English as well.
Sorry for interrupting you. But speak up and slow down, please. I didn't catch that. Could you put it into other words, if you don't mind?
I'll try to explain. But I think that you just need to use your mind. Actually, you don't care, that's it. So, where were we?
What do you mean? You are wrong. To tell you the truth, it seems to me that you just don't know how to explain.
Far from it. I understand the situation, but I've got a feeling that you don't care.
In fact, I'm not very good at English. Number 95. Workplace Debates. Part 1. Are you with me?
I can't but agree that you seem to be right. But I look at it in another way, and unfortunately, I can't agree with you. I do talk to these people every day. Some of them have been working for this company for 5 years, and they are experts at their jobs.
Yes, there's a lot in what you say. But we shouldn't forget that we've dealt with such a substantial client for the first time.
Far from it. We've signed treaties with such firms twice this year. Have you been introduced to them in person? Not yet, but it costs us nothing to do that.
That's right.
I entirely agree. That's just what I had in mind.
Well, I may as well agree. Part 2. To begin with, I'd like to call your attention to the fact that we've been discussing this delicate situation since morning, and we haven't reached an agreement yet.
As far as I know, you don't know the details. As for me, I can't but agree with the fact that situation is getting worse.
At any rate, I want to keep a handle on the situation.
Beyond all questions, I can bring you up to date if you don't mind. Amazing as it may seem, I've got a feeling that you are keeping something in the dark.
Far from it.
Actually, I'm not sure of it.
Part 3. Take my word for it. These people can't let us down.
As for me, I'm not sure of it.
Take my word for it.
To this I can answer that the offer sounds delicious. But as far as I know, nobody in our country has ever made a contract on these conditions.
Nevertheless, we can admit that somebody has already taken the risk to go to pieces.
One ought to say that we have no right to put all eggs in one basket. How right you are! I'm with you.
I'm very sorry to say that I'm not of the same opinion. Nevertheless, I can't but agree with you.
Let's hope for the best. In any case, we have no other options. Number 96. I don't want to depend on interpreters. I'm going to buy a new car because I gave my car to my daughter last week. I would like to drive to work and listen to training CDs in the car because I must learn to speak English well. It is necessary for me. You know, I am a principal of the firm. I don't want to depend on the decency of interpreters during my meetings with foreign partners. I would listen to English songs and watch English films every day, but I am very busy as I go to Moscow every morning. I live in the countryside. And sometimes I get stuck in traffic jams. It takes me 5 to 6 hours every day. I would like to listen to records of my lessons with my English teacher all the time. I think that listening to English lessons in the car is the only valid method for people as busy as I am. My car is my home, my office, and my fort. When I am stuck in traffic jams, I'm pronouncing new constructions, words, phrases, and imitating the teacher's pronunciation. Just imagine, the lesson lasts non-stop. It helps me very much. You know, I really have no time to study.
Number 97. I can do anything. What can I do? Oh, I can do anything. I can be polite and attractive, and I can speak several foreign languages. It goes without saying that I can find a common language with anybody. Honestly speaking, I could set the world on fire, but I haven't done it because I'm very shy. Of course, I hope to take over the world someday, but unfortunately, I haven't overcome my shyness yet. I managed to make friends with a president once, but that's a top secret. I could cross the Thames in my youth. Do you still think that I talk nonsense? Well, can I apply for the job in McDonald's? Number 98. Karelia. Have you ever been to Karelia? Oh, it's a fantastic place. I've just come from there, and I'm full of stories to tell. There are lots of lakes, and the water in these lakes is so warm and clean. You can swim there for days, and even drink water from some of the lakes. And if you travel by car or by bicycle, you can swim 2 or 3 times a day in different lakes. One should travel around Karelia in August. In August, you can enjoy wonderful berries and mushrooms. The main lake in Karelia is Lake Onega. And of course, you've heard a lot about Kiri. You should take a boat and cross Lake Onega. It will take you about 2 hours, so you can admire the beauty of the island and the famous wooden church. It is built without any nails. Go to Karelia and you won't regret it.
Number 99. Study English in traffic jams. Yesterday at work, I realized that I need to study English. I work a lot, and I work far from my house, so it usually takes me 2 hours to get to work. But yesterday the weather was so bad that it took me 4 hours to get to my office. I don't like being in traffic jams. It's boring. That's why I decided that I should study English while I am stuck in a traffic jam. I'm not afraid of driving, but I'm afraid of speaking English because it seems to me that I do it very poorly. It's good that nobody can hear me in the car. I never had time to study English when I was at school, but I need English for my work. Next week, I'll start to study. I'll take English courses twice a week. It will take me 2 to 3 years to master English. I'm absolutely sure of it. For example, right now I'm stuck in a traffic jam. It's snowing. I see people in other cars quarreling with each other because they are all in a hurry and they've got nothing to do. But I don't waste my time. I'm learning English words and translating sentences. I'm listening to English songs now, and, you know, I begin to understand native speakers.
Number 100. Let's get to know each other better.
Hello.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Sorry for my poor English.
Don't worry. It's okay. What's your name?
Svetlana. And what about you?
Gabriella. Have you ever been here?
No. Frankly speaking, it's my first time here.
Could I help you? Would you like some tea?
With great pleasure.
Do you like the city?
Yes, I do. The weather was wonderful yesterday, and I walked for 3 hours. I also managed to visit 2 museums.
Are you interested in art?
Yes, I am. My daughter is keen on drawing, and we always visit museums together.
Great. How old is she?
She's 20. And what about you? Do you have any children?
Yes, I have 2 children.
How old are they? What do they do? Do they go to school?
My youngest has just finished school this year, and the elder one finished it 3 years ago. Now they are in college.
They are almost adults.
And how long have you been working for this company?
Oh, let me see. For 10 years. That's right. I've been working for this company since 2004.
Do you like your job?
Sure, I really enjoy it. And in spite of the fact that I have to work a lot, and sometimes I'm very tired, on the whole, I'm pleased with my job. I'm a hard worker, and I never give up. And what about you?
I'm not pleased with my work. To tell the truth, I'm rather lazy, and I like spending my time at home with my relatives. Sometimes it seems to me that this work prevents me from taking care of my family properly. But I need to earn money to provide my children with necessities. By the way, what time is it now?
It's about 3 p.m.
Really? Well, I have to go. I'm sorry.
It was nice talking to you. Hope we'll meet again soon.
I hope so. Goodbye.
See you.
See you.
Number 101. The Cyclist. I was quite bright as a child. I could read at the age of 5, and I read fairy tales by myself. I could write well, and I even wrote letters to all our relatives. But I couldn't ride a bike. For some reason, I couldn't manage to do it. When I was 6, I finally managed to ride a bike. At first, my father taught me. Then my uncle helped me, and then my elder brother gave me a splendid piece of advice. And at last I did it. I was very proud of myself, and I yelled to all passerby, "I can ride a bike! Look, I'm riding! I'm not falling down! I've been riding for 20 minutes, and I haven't fallen down all this time. Can you do this?" And from that day, I have ridden my bike every single day. I enjoy it a lot. I used to ride 2 hours a day, but now I'm too busy, and I don't always manage to find so much time for cycling. But even if I'm very busy and I've got many things to do, precisely at 9 o'clock, I stand up, take my bike, and set off for a bike ride. And now I'm riding, and as always, yelling to passerby, "Dare you?"
Number 102. A family scandal. Have you come home yet?
Yes, I'm here, working in my study.
Listen, I need to talk to you.
Okay. What's wrong?
You must find another job.
What? What are you talking about? But I've been working for this company for 15 years, and we haven't had any problems so far. So why should I look for another job?
Do you really think that we have no problems? Have we been on vacation this year? No. You've been too busy. And when did we go anywhere together last year? No. Maybe 2 years ago? No, not 2 years ago either. I have been waiting for this magical trip for 15 years.
I don't want to talk about this. We've talked about this many times before.
Well, let's talk about something else. Have we seen TV together lately? Have we met our friends this week?
Stop it.
No, I won't. Yes, I know that you are a hard worker. You've been working hard since you were a child. You're so responsible. You're the best chief I've ever seen. But there's a problem. You don't have a single minute for your own wife.
And now you listen to me. Yes, I'm responsible. Yes, I'm a hard worker. And I've been breaking my back at work for 15 years. And what about you? What have you been doing for all these 15 years? Nothing. And in spite of this fact, you have everything you wanted. Children, a flat, a country house, 2 cars, diamond rings, and much more. I've been earning money since we got married. And you've been spending money easily for 15 years. And what do I hear instead of thank you? So let me work in peace, and let's finish this unpleasant conversation. Number 103. A visit to a dentist. Hello.
Hi.
How are you getting on?
Great. Thanks. And what about you?
So-so. Not very well. I have a toothache, and I haven't been eating for 3 days. I haven't slept since Monday. I should have gone to work yesterday, but I couldn't. I do my best, but I can't concentrate. I'm just a shadow of the man that I used to be.
I've got an idea. Calm down. Don't worry. Listen to me. You must visit a doctor.
But I'm afraid of doctors.
Stop talking nonsense. And don't make me angry or I'll teach you a lesson.
Well, okay, but I need your help.
I'm all ears.
Go to the doctor with me, please.
When?
Right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm terribly busy. My mom is coming in 2 hours and I have to meet her.
Bad luck. I'll go alone then. If I don't go to the dentist, I'll lose my tooth.
Good luck and take care.
So long.
Number 104. An awful day. I had an awful day yesterday. I was working from early morning till late evening and I had no free time. I didn't even have a lunch break. I just had a snack at 3 p.m. because I was very hungry. I had only been eating for 15 minutes when my boss came and asked me to help him with papers. Of course I agreed. To tell you the truth, I didn't have any choice. I was still working when everybody else left the office. And even at 9 p.m., I kept working. I had been working non-stop for 10 hours when my husband finally picked me up to go home. I slept on the way home, and by the time we arrived, our daughter had cooked dinner and cleaned the flat. I was happy to be home. Number 105. How to put your thoughts into words in English. I've only been studying English for 6 months. For 6 months I've been studying it at our school, but I had been studying English at my previous school for 2 years before that. We read different stories there, learnt irregular verbs by heart, and sometimes we listened to English songs. But everything is different at this school. There is a special way of teaching here. We usually try to translate from Russian into English during the lessons, as our teacher thinks that the most difficult thing is to learn how to put your own thoughts into words in English correctly. To my mind, this is true, although, to be honest, it's rather difficult. But let's hope for the best. Sometimes I get tired during the lesson, and it seems to me that I make too many mistakes while translating. I hope I won't have problems with translation next year. Number 106. A talkative lady. Hello! I'm glad to see you. It's very nice to talk to you again. Sorry for my poor English, but I'm just learning. And take my word for it, in a couple of months I'll be much better at it, that's for sure. I've just come from Moscow today, and it's very cold there as usual. And it constantly rains. Frankly speaking, I'm a bit tired of the weather in Moscow, as well as the pace of living in Moscow. Traffic jams and rain, that's the beginning of every Moscow day. To tell the truth, I have a strong belief that our mood depends on the weather, as we, human beings, are always under the weather. And when you get out of bed on the wrong side, just look through the window. It will be raining for sure. But I don't complain. I'm an optimist. and I don't let myself be in a bad mood. I just say to myself, hey, get a grip, and never ever give up. And what about you? What weather do you prefer? And what about your children? How old are they? Have they entered the school yet? Oh, things never stay the same. And you have to keep up with the time if you want to succeed in life. Well, it was nice chatting with you. Honestly speaking, it's the first time I've chatted with a foreigner in English, and I enjoyed it a lot. I tried to do my best, and I think that I managed to do it pretty good. Goodbye. See you later.
Number 107. Mr. Stay-at-Home. Hello. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Stay-at-Home because I hate traveling. For leisure, I prefer staying in my own house, watching TV, or reading different interesting books. I've traveled once in my life. It happened 2 years ago. I went to Paris. I stayed at a luxurious hotel. The bathroom, the bedroom, and the living room were fantastic. The view from the window was breathtaking. The owner of the hotel was a nice, sociable, and a hard-working person. Every morning I took a bath or a shower. I usually had breakfast at 10 o'clock. And then I went sightseeing all day long, from morning till evening. But 3 days later, I started to miss my own apartment. I bought tickets and came home. Now I really am Mr. Stay-at-Home, and I won't go anywhere anymore. Number 108. The laziest guy in the world. I was too busy last week. That's why I didn't call you. You know, I was offered a very interesting job abroad, and I decided to go there. But I'm not very good at English yet, and I'm quite a lazy person. So it's difficult for me to make myself study every day. But I have no choice. I don't like studying, and I didn't like it as a child. And I will never like it. It's tiring, although it's not so hard. But my sister has always liked studying. That's why she speaks English better than I do. She was the best student at school. She was asked every day, and she got only the best marks. But I was asked very seldom, because teachers didn't like me. The situation at the university was the same. My sister, as usual, was the best, and I was the worst, in spite of the fact that I started reading a lot and even studying English a little. I didn't have a good teacher, and nobody wanted to help me, because everybody knew that I was the laziest guy in the world. But I decided to study, and to prove to everyone that I could learn to speak English in 2 months. That's why I've been working as hard as Cinderella all this week. And I'll keep working non-stop, and I won't waste time anymore.
Number 109. How my ex-husband helped me. I'll tell you what's happened to me today. I got into trouble this morning. You know, I'm always late for work because I'm very busy with my family problems. And I understand that my coworkers don't like it. Today I took my mom to the hospital in the morning. Then I wanted to go to work, but the lock in my car broke. It was awful. I left my bag with money and my phone in the car. I didn't know what to do in such a situation. The only phone number I remembered by heart was my ex-husband's. I borrowed a phone from a nice passerby. Then I called my ex-husband. He promised to come and help. While I was waiting for him, I was jumping and revising my English homework. I had revised everything before he appeared. To cut a long story short, my ex-husband helped me open my car. I arrived at work by lunchtime. My coworkers looked at me with surprise, but I'm used to being looked at in such a way. I'll do my best not to be late for work tomorrow, or I'll be looked at with surprise again. Of course, I'm just kidding. I'm treated very well at work, in spite of the fact that I'm often late.
Number 110. Don't disturb Mr. Brown. Hello. Sorry for my interrupting you, but can I ask you a question? Do you know where Mr. Brown is?
He must be at home.
Are you sure? Honestly speaking, I've been calling him non-stop for 2 hours, but he doesn't answer.
That's strange. He may be busy.
I apologize again, but can I call him on his cell phone?
I really do not advise you to do that. Mr. Brown doesn't like to be distracted.
What a pity. What shall I do? You know, it's vital that I should talk to him today. I don't know how to explain. In short, I have to solve a very serious problem and I need his advice. I'm sure he won't be angry when he knows the heart of the matter.
Well, got it. Let me give you a piece of advice. Text him a message.
Do you think so? And what shall I write in this message?
Write, Mr. Brown, I'm so sorry to distract you from your business. It's very important for me. It's a matter of life and death. Will you allow me to call you on your cell phone?
And you think that I'll be allowed to do it?
I hope so.
Thank you for a splendid piece of advice. I hope it will work. Number 111. What I believe in. I'm not a religious person, and I believe in neither God, nor reincarnation, nor life after death. But, on the other hand, I believe that we may know very little about our universe, and there are surely many things that we can't explain yet. For example, some of the UFO stories could be true. People may not be the only intelligent beings in the universe. I believe in telepathy, and I also think that the human brain could have some energy sources that we still know very little about. But I don't think that we can predict the future through any methods, especially with a horoscope.
Number 112. An Unlucky New Year. This New Year was the most terrible I've had. I'll explain to you why. I was invited to a party, and I had to agree to go. Now I understand why I shouldn't have gone there. Maybe I could say that I had caught a cold and wouldn't be able to go to the party. Who knows? Anyway, I didn't do this, and I had to face the truth. I was going to spend the night in the company of egoistic, smug fools who were constantly trying to prove that they were right. Sounds tempting, doesn't it? I bet you are not jealous of me. But what should I have done? I couldn't refuse to go, because they are my colleagues, aren't they? Don't get me wrong, I'm used to them, although sometimes I have to tolerate their stupidity. Of course, I have several true friends at work, but unfortunately they weren't invited to this party. Bad luck. In general, as you undoubtedly guessed it, it was the most boring evening of my life. I was trying hard not to sleep, but I didn't manage to do it. I shouldn't have fallen asleep. When I finally woke up, I felt very confused. A small chair in the center of the big living room full of strangers isn't the best way to sleep, is it? Well, I don't think that anybody noticed me sleeping. All these know-it-alls were too busy chatting and showing off. That's better.
Number 113. A hypercritical manager. My manager is never pleased with what I do. It's unbearable. I just can't listen to his constant critical remarks anymore. He didn't used to find fault with me at all. He just didn't notice me. Then, he began to pay attention to what I was doing. But that was just the beginning. Last month, he would ask me questions and give advice. And now he's always trying to catch me in the hall to ask another tricky question. Is your presentation ready? Where did you get the pictures? Who told you about that source? Is it reliable? Why have you chosen those materials? Wasn't there anything better? How did you come up with that ridiculous idea? I had to wait until he went home to leave the building. Besides that, he calls me so much that I often have to switch off my cell phone. Oh, I'm so sick and tired of all that. To be honest, I'm just fed up with it. This week, I've prepared a presentation on shoes. I think it's the best presentation I've ever made. I'm sitting here and looking through it. It's gorgeous. What will he criticize this time? Will I have to rewrite all the slides? Or will I have to change the subject? Who knows? His demands are unpredictable. Number 114. The rain, the lighter, and the dignity. He stopped to light a cigarette. It kept raining, and weathermen regretfully informed him that it would continue raining for 2 more weeks. He tried to find a lighter in its pockets, but it wasn't there. Then he tried to look for it in his briefcase, but he didn't find it there either. However, he remembered taking it with him when he left home. Well, I should concentrate and remember all my actions, step by step, and stop being annoyed about small stuff. Hooray! He remembered putting the lighter in the inner pocket of his jacket. He liked smoking leisurely and thoughtfully. He liked smoking and watching the rain. That's why his secretary stopped trying to get through to him on rainy days long ago. He didn't mind the idea of being late for the meeting. He remembered that he was supposed to be in the office at 6, but he remembered being incredibly bored at the meeting last time as well. Now he can let himself be late. Chiefs are allowed to be late. After all, he started his career as an ordinary manager, and he remembered being afraid of being late when he was an errand boy in his youth. That's why now he kept smoking calmly, watching the rain, and toying his favorite lighter with dignity.
Number 115. Cleaning. I've done lots of things today. Good for me. By 9 o'clock I had already had breakfast, washed the dishes, and swept the floor. I hadn't swept the floor in 2 weeks, by the way, so it wasn't so easy. There were many papers under the table, 2 pencils, breadcrumbs, and, just imagine, I managed to find a silver spoon which I lost long ago. This spoon belonged to my grandmother, who had died before I was born. You know, it wasn't so funny for me in the morning. I thought that my sister would come and help me clean the flat, but she couldn't come, so naturally I got upset. But this small silver spoon encouraged me a lot. I'd been trying to find it for more than 2 months, and I hadn't managed to find it. And this morning I suddenly found it while just sweeping the floor. Surprising things do happen. I think that I'll find many other interesting things if I decide to clean the whole flat. I was so happy to have found this small thing that I immediately made a plan. By 12 o'clock, I'll have put the kitchen in order, even if I have to wash the floor 3 times. By 2 o'clock, I'll have swept the whole flat. Hope it'll take me no more than 2 hours. By 4 o'clock, I'll have washed the floor everywhere in my flat. I'd like somebody to invent a cleaning machine. And by the time my mother comes, I'll have finished dusting, and everything will just glisten. I wish I could afford a housemaid.
Number 116. An ordinary clerk and his 3 outstanding brothers. I have 3 brothers who all live in different parts of the world, which isn't so bad. One brother, who lives in Goa, isn't working now. The reason why he isn't working is quite simple. He doesn't want to work. He makes a living by singing to the guitar. He's very good at slow hand. Goa, where my brother George is living now, is a calm and quiet place. My eldest brother, Max, is living in Alaska now. Alaska, which is usually considered to be a dull place, actually is quite an interesting spot. Just imagine, he wants to develop a hotel business in Alaska. And finally, my brother Mike, whom I've always loved the most, is working as a crocodile hunter in Africa. My brother has been interested in crocodiles, some types of which are on the verge of extinction, since childhood. That's why he catches them, tags, and then releases them. I admire him. The city where Mike lives became his hometown long ago, and I keep the cards that he sends me on the holidays. These cards, 2 of which I've lost, usually talk about the crocodiles. I like reading his enthusiastic reports and imagining the life of an African biologist. I like my brothers, whose stories always make me feel happy, in spite of the fact that I lead a very boring life, the life of the ordinary clerk.
Number 117. Not that simple. If you do well at university, if you take English courses, you'll find a worthwhile job for sure. That's what my granny usually said to me. She thought that it was as simple as that. But I know for sure that it's very difficult to find a worthwhile and well-paid job nowadays, even if you've been studying English since childhood. You finish university well, and you've become a highly qualified expert. You can only find a job if your friends help you. I'm not sure if you took me right. The thing is that your friends or acquaintances can recommend you to their friends and acquaintances. If you know the right people, you'll get a chance to demonstrate everything you can do. I've tried to find a job without the help of my friends. I prepared carefully for every interview. I was terribly worried before I entered every office. I got goosebumps every time yet another boss looked through my papers. Take my word for it, you won't be able to find the right job until your friends help you.
Number 118. A Magic Dream. I had an incredible dream yesterday. I wish you could see this dream too, but unfortunately that's not possible, so I'll try to tell you everything that I saw in detail. I'd never seen anything like this before. Well, let's get down to it. I remember that I was going along the street, then I turned left and suddenly noticed a small yellow door. In spite of the fact that the door seemed to be a little bit weird, I tried to open it. I didn't manage to do it. The door was locked. Then I knocked and the door magically opened, although there was nobody behind it. I was a little bit scared and it was dark behind the door, but I decided to enter. Hardly had I crossed the threshold when the light turned on and I saw something inconceivable. I was standing in a small room, and it was the oddest room I had ever seen. Everything seemed to be made from paper and colored in different colors. There was a man in the middle of the room. As soon as I saw him, I realized that he was a wizard. He was wearing a long cloak and a hood with small stars on it, which were made from paper too, by the way. When he began to speak, I recognized his voice. I had heard this voice many times, but I couldn't remember when and where. Maybe I had already met this wizard in my childish dreams. Who knows? The wizard said, "What do you want me to do for you?" Honestly speaking, I didn't expect him to talk. I was shocked. At first I even thought that he was a toy, so I just couldn't believe my ears. I said, "What? What do I want you to do for me? What can you do?" He answered, "Everything. I can do everything. I'm the chief wizard in the universe, and you have 3 minutes to make 3 wishes." I started thinking quickly. I just couldn't choose. A new car? A new house? A new job? $1 million? 1,000,000 subordinates? Peace in the world? My own island? My own planet? My own galaxy? Scarcely had I started to talk when the wizard suddenly disappeared, and everything became dark, and I opened my eyes and woke up. I was so frustrated. I had so many wishes, and for some reason this stupid wizard had disappeared before I was able to say. I closed my eyes and tried my best to fall asleep again to see this wizard, but I wasn't able to do it. Well, there's nothing to be done about it. Maybe better luck next time.
Number 119. A Chessman. Bob is fond of chess. To tell the truth, he is just crazy about chess. I can't say that he is the best chessman I have ever met, but it actually doesn't matter, does it? He just likes playing chess, and even if he is worn out or sick, or if he has problems at work, he always plays chess with great pleasure, and it always helps him feel better. Bob has been playing chess since he was 5. His first teacher was his father. Bob's father had been teaching his son for 6 or 7 months before he entered a chess school for children at the age of 6. He studied there for 7 years. Bob wasn't a chess genius. He played well, but there were quite a lot of people in the club who played better. So, when the time for choosing a profession came, he decided to be a doctor. Bob studied well, and he became a good doctor. He always works hard and helps people, but he doesn't enjoy his job. He only enjoys chess. Yesterday, Bob was playing chess all day long with his friends, and he will surely play chess tomorrow, too. Sometimes it seems to me that these chess figures solve all his problems. I'm absolutely sure that he will be playing chess when he is 80, when he is 90. I think that he won't die so long as he is playing chess. Maybe he will live forever.
Number 120. If I have measles. It seems to me that I'm going to get ill. I have a terrible headache, and an earache as well. If it's measles, then I won't go to school tomorrow, and I won't have been going to school for 21 days, at least until my health gets better. I wish it were mumps, or at least measles. I would willingly stay at home. No, that's a dead issue. I know exactly what will happen when Mum comes home from work and finds out that I've got measles. She'll immediately call for an ambulance, and I'll be taken to hospital. It's obvious. Then, she'll be inquiring about my health 25 times a day, and I'll be lying in bed and groaning. And when I recover, my mum will take me home, and I'll be complaining of the bad lunches we had in hospital all day long. Well, it's time to come back to real life and stop dreaming of all sorts of rubbish. What ugly thoughts sometimes cross my mind. Mum wouldn't approve of such wild fantasies. Honestly speaking, we are totally different. She is determined and she always knows what she wants. Many years ago, she got divorced, and then she had to give up her job because she wanted to bring me up by herself. She was working hard on translations at nights to earn some money for living. She would like me to study law, but it seems to me that I am not cut out for it. I'm quite unbalanced and intolerant, to tell you the truth. And although I adore and admire my mom, I think she'll have to put up with me for a long time. In other words, I'm not going to do my best to succeed in life. Maybe I shouldn't have been so frank? Number 121. My brother.
I wish you had told me about your brother. Everybody is talking about him so much. He is alleged to have written the best composition on Russian history, and he is known to have won the trip to the USA. Surely, his composition is worth publishing, and your brother is worth being sent to the USA.
You don't seem to be in a hurry.
That's right. I've just got a call and been informed that we won't have classes today. It turns out that our teacher has fallen ill. My best friend happened to see the ambulance car come, and he heard our teacher groaning while being carried away. And then, my friend called me, lest I should be thinking of going to school. So, I'm not going to school today.
You've missed school a lot lately.
Stop finding fault with me. It's not my fault. If our teacher weren't so sick, I would never have missed school.
Well, okay. If you insist that I should tell you about my brother, then be so kind and don't interrupt me while I'm talking. I can't stand being interrupted. My brother is elder than me, and, to be honest, cleverer. He's been working hard all year because he wants to enter the university. He decided to make his career in Russian literature. He reads a lot, and he's interested in art. He looks rather gloomy, and nobody ever sees him smiling. He always feels lonely and depressed in unfamiliar company. But, in fact, he's absolutely happy, because he likes studying. He's always afraid of being late for his lessons. My mum considers him to be the best member of our family. She supposes him to have read all the books in the world, at least those that are worth reading. I wish I were him. But for my brother, I would get more attention. In fact, we're totally different. We have nothing in common. I'm bored to death with all these studies, and I hate reading books, especially those that I'm obliged to read at school. But I have some advantages too. I can get on well with different people, and I always adapt to different circumstances. I've learned how to communicate without taking offense and without showing displeasure when I am treated badly. It enables me not to feel lonely in my own family. I used to cry a lot because I thought my mom loved my brother more than me. Anyway, there's a common coin that parents are crazy about the hardworking children. It seems to me that women wouldn't give birth to children if they didn't expect them to be the cleverest, the most beautiful, the most famous, and the richest people in the world. They would like us to be Einsteins and Shakespeares. But as for me, I'm really lazy, and therefore I'm just a colorless being, and I shouldn't have been born.
Stop it. And don't blame your mother. Honestly speaking, after listening to your story, I was ready to burst into tears. You know, I would never have asked you to tell about your brother if I had known that you would be so disappointed. I wish it hadn't happened like this. I regret asking you.
Number 122. A letter to Peter. Dear Peter, I'm writing to tell you our new address and invite you to visit us next Saturday. I wish we had moved here 6 years ago, when our son was only 6 months old. Life in the forest is known to be very good for your health. If I had my way, I would spend all my life away from the city, its transport, its terrible traffic jams on the roads in the evenings, its dirty streets and its constantly hurrying people. The place where we are living now is alleged to be admirable. I don't deny spending a lot of money on the move, but for my parents' help, we wouldn't have bought this fantastic house. My husband happened to be offered this house that was built many years ago at the very end of the village called Jasnevo, Ash Tree. This house turned out to have been built before the revolution. I'm very glad to have bought it. My son is just crazy about playing with the local children. They have a special local color. I used to think that they were awful hooligans, but they turned out to be very nice kids. They are never rude, they never use bad language, and they often play the fool. They never complain of bad treatment, although I know that their parents are heavy drinkers, and people say that they are sometimes beaten. There is a common opinion, like father, like son. But watching these abused children play calmly and joyfully with my son, I start to question the validity of this statement. Well, Just writing to you about it makes me feel like I'm going to burst into tears. My husband likes being here too. I often watch him playing tennis in the garden with pleasure. I like him to rest in the armchair under the apple tree. You know, he isn't a sociable person. He can't stand being told what to do. And I object to him smoking too much. But, fortunately, he seldom smokes here. I wish we had moved here earlier. I remember asking him to find the right place somewhere in the suburbs. But he had been working hard for 3 years before we moved here, and he had no time for it. By the way, we've just had our house painted, and it looks tremendous. I'm so grateful to you for sending us new chairs, but you needn't have spent so much on it, really. There's little good furniture here, and I haven't got used to putting things where they belong so far. I expect you to come to visit us. No doubt you'll be the dearest and most desirable guest. We moved here 2 months ago, and we've been working nonstop since then. To tell you the truth, I'm fed up with all this fuss. Looking forward to seeing you. Best wishes, Kate.
Number 123. An emigrant. I came to Moscow 5 years ago. I had to leave my native town where I'd been living for 45 years, since I was born. Maybe I should have left earlier, when the situation wasn't so hopeless. If I had been more adaptable, I wouldn't have left. Well, I've been in Moscow for 5 years, and I've been working for a travel agency for 3 years. But for fantastic luck, I wouldn't have found this job. No sooner had I come to Moscow than I was offered a position at a secondary school. I agreed immediately. I wish I had refused to get that job. If I had my way, I wouldn't have worked under such terrible circumstances. They weren't just children, they were a group of hooligans. Had I known this before, I wouldn't have agreed to work there. They always messed around, didn't pay attention to their teachers, and used bad language during the lessons. They left the classroom without asking for permission and came back without knocking on the door. And they never apologized for being late. They were worth punishing. It was awful. I couldn't stand it. I had been looking at these laughing, nasty faces for a year before I finally made the decision to quit. But I had to earn money. I tried many different jobs. I worked as a vendor, as a garbage man, and as an accountant. I was afraid of being fired. I led a terrible life. I wish I'd been taught how to play the guitar as a child. I have a good ear for music, and I could have earned a lot of money if I sat in a metro and sang stupid songs. I thought I would have to spend several months looking for the right job, but then I managed to find a wonderful job in a travel agency. This job enables me to meet interesting people and be well off. To tell the truth, I haven't got used to living in Moscow so far. Moscow is known not to believe in tears, especially nowadays. Moscow is said to be the most expensive city in the world in terms of accommodations and food. Honestly speaking, I can't adapt to the new Moscow. It differs a lot from the Moscow of the 70s. I bet you aren't able to remember that Moscow. You can ask, what was so special about it? The capital had a certain charm. It was a hard-working city under construction. I watched Moscow being built. And now I'm living in here and everything reminds me of my native town. If I had my way, I would go back there. I don't deny leaving my hometown out of fear for the future. And I'm grateful to my destiny for giving me the chance to find the right job. I don't regret leaving my homeland, but I'm sure to go back there sometime. Number 124. Politics. Politics. Politics is so popular these days. It is always talked about on TV. Everybody thinks that politics is a dirty game. Maybe if people didn't talk about politics so often, it wouldn't be so disgusting? I believe that it depends on the people who decided to specialize in politics. In other words, politicians. A real politician should be a well-educated man, should read good books, should know the history of his country, and should never be interested in rumors overloading the newspapers. You know, Thomas Jefferson once said, "A person who doesn't read anything is better educated than the one who reads nothing but newspapers." A real politician should not be a pessimist. He should always hope for the best and do his best to provide everyone with equal rights. Thus, everything depends on those who try to change the world, to make it better, who can invent something new to help people not be afraid of the future. Actually, a real politician should be wise and unreasonable at the same time. As Bernard Shaw once said, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself." Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. But, unfortunately, these people are a minority in our government. The majority thinks that the most important thing in the world is to be talked about. Well, it's high time we stopped accusing everybody of all deadly sins. We have only ourselves to blame. We may have earned the government we have,